I was traded to the Chicago White Sox. And I spent another year and a half at the White Sox before I was traded at the deadline back to the Yankees in 2017. And kind of from there, this is kind of been a full circle thing for me. It's technically my third stint as a Yankee, and I love every bit of it.
This season, Tommy has been an integral piece of the Yankees bullpen. Through 39 games, Canely had a 1.57 ERA, including a 17-game stretch with 0 earned runs. When he isn't dominating opposing hitters, his fiery personality and kid-like energy is beloved in the Yankees dugout.
There's a big moment, the crowd's going crazy, you know, you feel the energy, and you get that big out, and you just want to let out a roar. So it's fun.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Slow and steady wins the race. You hear it so often you forget just how amazing slow can be. At Acorns, we help your money harness the power of slow. Invest what you can. Give it a chance to grow with time. We believe that slower is better for your money and other stuff too. Barbecue, instant replay, slow dancing. Oh, so slow. Acorns, grow your oak.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
It's August 28th, 2024. Michael K., Don LaGreca, and Peter Rosenberg with you until 6:30. Hope everybody having a great day. Today was a day where I really felt my age, guys, and it depressed me a little bit. A little bit. Just
depressed?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why, Don. I
Why?
didn't tell you this off the air because I want it to be fresh.
Fresh.
I was playing catch with Charlie in our backyard.
Oh, that's always fun.
And he was about 50 feet away from me. And he said, "Can I throw the fastball?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Really, can I throw it as hard as I can?" I said, "Sure."
Uh-oh.
He threw it as hard as he can. I couldn't glove it, and it smashed me on the wrist, and I am in an incredible amount of pain. I could not catch a 9-year-old's fastball. It's over. It's pretty much over.
Well, I mean, hold on.
Why do you got to look at it that
Well,
way?
how am I supposed to look at it?
That you have a son
Yes.
who may be the future of baseball.
Yeah, it's Rookie of the Year, too.
Really?
From the kid from
What do you
American Pie.
What do you think he put on it? So maybe threw it 75 miles an
You
hour?
don't know.
I don't know, but I mean, I should have been able to react. It hit me on the gloved hand, so I was expecting the ball to just sink a little bit, and it stayed on the same plane and hit me right on the wrist, and it started to swell up, and I sat down for a second, and he was depressed that he hurt me, and I said, let's continue to play catch.
This is how you know I was not a ball player, even though I played baseball, Don. I remember distinctly around the time in high school, I don't remember if it was probably on the varsity team, when I was like, I'm done catching for pitchers. Like, I was like, not going to be me. Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, but I thought that would happen when I was 70.
Or if he started throwing 70. Right? Like, you're 70 or he's throwing 70. But the fact that it was probably in the mid-40s, that's where you have a problem.
Yeah, see, I don't know what it looked like. But you could take pride in the fact that, hey, my son has a fastball at 9 that can hurt me. That I wasn't able to react
But
to.
the thing is, you have to have a comparison for that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to compare.
You got to have someone else come and try to catch it.
Now, I'm sure that anybody younger would have been able to catch it.
Maybe, you know what you should do?
What's that?
Bring in our friend host of the great Caught Offsides podcast, J.J. Devaney.
Yeah.
Right. He's got no fear of hurting children.
So that's what I'm saying. So you see if he can catch it. Worst case scenario, he gets hit in the face. Him and Charlie are even. You see what I'm saying?
And you're not a ball player, Michael. You never played ball.
I played Little League.
Yeah, but that was 60 years ago.
No, I didn't play it at 3.
No, but you played it at like 8.
No, I played at
55
13. Last year was 13. So
13?
yeah.
That's high school.
No, Little League.
Come on,
There
what are
was
you
Little
doing?
League at 13.
No, you don't know. Listen, I don't know.
No, there was Little League at 13.
13's not high school.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
Middle school. You're in 7th grade.
Yeah, my daughter's 11. She's starting middle school tomorrow.
7th,
She'll
8th
be in
grade
middle
is 13,
school.
Don. 14 is your freshman year.
And Little League's the last year at 13. I played for the Barcliff Getty team.
I can only go by the town that I was in.
Well, you know what?
Now,
Your town's
as
a little
politically incorrect as I'm sure they've changed it. But I'd say for, I think, 7 and 8 years old.
Okay.
It was midget league.
Okay.
And I was on Lakeview Farms.
All right.
And then
A moment in time.
from like 9 to 11 was Little League, and I was on Rhodes Agency, and my dad was my manager. And then after that, from 12 until high school, it was junior development, JD, and you played on a regulation infield. So at 13, I had moved on to 60 feet 6 inches and all that.
Throgs Neck in the Bronx, 13 was Little League. Barcliff Getty Station.
Right, but you never moved on from Little League.
No,
that's the point.
Yeah.
So you have not had you were not a ball player since 13. Well, I played to college, and I still, will play catch and stuff. So I still have that, even though I'm not fit to play at any kind of decent level.
Will you come over and catch them?
I want to see. I want to be able to see whether this is just impossible to react to at our age, or whether you just don't have the ability anymore to catch a ball.
Well, that would be unfortunate.
But still, you could look at it positive that I have a son now that can do damage throwing the ball, and that he's a ball player who's already involved in a triple play. You said, I mean, he's got skills.
No, he's much better than I ever was.
Right. So why is it that crazy that at 9 he's starting to develop the skills where if you're not ready, he can hurt you with his fastball?
Well, he did.
Good for Charlie.
So overall, Peter, this should be a prideful moment for Michael.
Peter, come on, be honest. It's not
No,
prideful.
I don't. And if I'm being serious, in all seriousness, exactly. If Michael legit struggled, he tried, it was a good throw, and he just couldn't do it. No, that's a sad moment. That's sad.
But it was you were playing catch and everything was fine.
Yeah, everything was
great.
great.
He ratcheted up. I mean, if you sit there and throw as hard as you can, you got to be ready for that. You probably weren't ready to know that my 9-year-old son can throw the heat. You're probably thinking he's still a child. Come on, I can handle this. It was an adjustment. I bet you if you do it again tomorrow, you'll catch it no problem, because now you'll make the physical adjustment to what he can do.
Yeah, but tomorrow the left arm might be in a cast. We'll see. Time now for Diamond Notes, brought to you by London Jewelers and driven to you by Nissan. Great night for the Mets. Bad night for the Yankees. Where do you want to start, Don? Yankees or the Mets?
Well, I wouldn't be overly concerned about the Yankees.
Well, I'll give you one thing to be concerned about. They have a legitimate problem against left-handed starters.
It seems to be.
Patrick Corbin had the worst ERA of any qualified pitcher in baseball, and he shut them down on 2 hits, no runs for 6 innings. That's concerning, because you're going to see an abundance of lefties in the postseason. You just are. But go ahead.
I was going to say, and when you take a look at the schedule, and you're going up against the Nationals, and the Orioles are in L.A. taking on the Dodgers, you're thinking this is where we're going to be able to widen our lead and not give a game back.
Right. Now you gave a game
back last night.
Yep. And the Mets got a game back. So they go into Arizona. They have a big 6-run inning, and they run away with it. Manaea once again pitched very well, ran out of gas at the end. And that's a nice win. Now, they started off the Padres series with a win as well. Let's see them take the next 2 and then really make a statement. I guess you could live with taking 2 out of 3, but I don't think it does much for you catching up on them. But the Braves won in extra innings. And right now we're at the point, Don and Peter, they can't afford to lose any more games to the Braves. So they're 3 games back in the loss column. So the Braves are playing the Twins. The Mets are playing the Diamondbacks, who have been red hot. And the Mets won the first game, so you have to give them great credit for that. Also in the game, Pete Alonso hit a home run. And I think most Met fans would agree that Pete Alonso has not had a great season. But you look up, and after that home run yesterday, Donnie has 28 home runs. And it's not a great season. So you can make the argument he's going to get anywhere from 35 to 40 home runs in an off season for him. And that home run, the 28th of the year, ties him with Mike Piazza for the 3rd most in Met history. And it just brings up that question once again, which is going to hang over this organization through the offseason until he signs with somebody. Are you bringing this guy back, and are you giving him the money that he wants?
He and Iglesias could make it.
Well, those are two different questions. You may want him back, but at the right price. And I think every Met fan realizes that if he wants north of $30 million, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you can get him at $25 million, well, then I think everybody would love to be able to have him come back. I think it's about the price. Now, we've seen Boris clients not get what they were looking for. Right?
Recently,
there were, 4 or 5 of them during this past offseason. You know, Snell was going to get big money, and he ends up signing in San Francisco late and got hurt and really stumbled out of the box because of that. Chapman in San Francisco as well, similar situation. Bellinger. So these guys didn't. Montgomery's right on the top of the list, Michael. Won a World Series with Texas. Thought he was going to cash in big and didn't. So Boris has gotten it wrong. So if the feeling was going into this past offseason, you're going to be a $40 million player, I think that's off the table now. How much is somebody willing to give him off of what has been, for Pete, a very pedestrian type of season? However, to other people, that may be the case, but is he more valuable to the Mets? As you mentioned, he tied Mike Piazza for the 3rd most home runs. And at some point, if he were to come back with the Mets next year, he will pass David Wright and Darryl Strawberry. And he has gone on a trajectory of being the greatest offensive player this franchise has ever had. So is that valuable to the Mets? Is it valuable to their fan base to say, all right, listen, he may not fit in the whole analytic thing. He may be not worth as much money as we're paying him, but for us, having a guy who started his career here, has a chance to put up some big-time numbers as a Met, being a forever Met, something for us, so maybe we'll pay a little bit more than other teams. I could see, especially with Cohen as the owner, Michael, that might be a direction that I would like to see them go.
Well, Howie Rose said it best yesterday. If it's a short-term deal, I think the Mets would be all in. This guy, correct me if I'm wrong, he's 30 years old, right? Mm-hmm. So you think he's going to age well where you can give him a 7-year deal. Now, I think he's going to want about $30 million a year. So if you're the Mets, would you give him 3 years at 90? The one thing I don't like, and I've read this in a number of places, is that this is one of those things where Steve Cohen could step in and say, listen, we got to sign him. That would be the wrong move. He turned over baseball operations to David Stearns. David Stearns has done a nice job so far, and you got to trust his evaluation. If he doesn't think that Pete Alonso fits on this team, then it doesn't matter if he's a favorite of Met fans. You know what Met fans like? Met fans like winning. Met fans will like going to the playoffs. Met fans will like winning a World Series. Doesn't matter who the player is. They can't fall in love with one guy. If the guy you hired and gave all that money to be the architect of the team doesn't feel that Pete Alonso is the right fit, then I'm sorry, Steve Cohen can't butt in and go, you know what, the fans like him, let's keep him.
Well, but it depends on what you mean by right fit. If you're telling me I think I can do better at first base over the next 3-4 years than Pete Alonso, I can find a better player that fits in what we're trying to do to win, then I think people can accept that. If it's fitting in our salary structure, well, that's where the fans are going to be like, well, wait a minute, I thought Steve Cohen is supposed to not care about things like that. So if Stearns goes to Cohen and says, listen, I think we can get a similar player cheaper. All right, similar player. Are you saying a better player or a similar player? I'm saying a similar player, and I think from a salary structure standpoint, I think we'd be better off if I can go out and get a guy for a lot less years and a lot less money that could do the same thing. Then Cohen could say, well, all right, but you know what? He's not Pete Alonso, and I've got the money, and I don't care I'm willing to go a little bit more financially, then I think it's okay for Cohen to step in.
But then you're really stepping in the way of what Stearns is doing, and I'm going to tell you why. It's not just about money. If it was just about money, then he could go out and get anybody he wants. But baseball has put together a collective bargaining agreement where there are a lot of negatives for going over that final tax, including draft position. And you say you want to build a Dodger system where, ready to go with another player when somebody leaves. You're not going to be able to do that if you keep going over that tax. It's going to cost you international money. It's going to cost you draft position. And so it's not that he can afford anybody. I mean, obviously he's going to make a run at Soto, but you want him to make a run at Soto after the Verlander contract goes off, after the Scherzer contract goes off, so that you don't have to go over $300 million. But if you're going to give $30 million to Pete Alonso and you don't want to, and you feel that you can get a first baseman for 10, then you're really playing against what Stearns wants to do.
No, I get that, and that's why I said if it's strictly financial, or it's something beyond financial where it's going to affect the team long term, then I'm with you. I don't think Cohen should step in. But if he's going to spend it someplace else, if they're going to go over the threshold anyway, or if there's a way to make it work where it doesn't go over the threshold, like let's say the money does come down, like let's say Stearns is just not a fan of Alonso, doesn't think he fits the kind of baseball team the way he looks like as a baseball team should be built.
Right.
And then goes out and gives the same money to somebody else who he happens to like, and the salary structure turns out to be exactly the same, well, then I can understand Cohen saying, well, I get what you're saying, but we like Pete, and we're going to keep Pete. Now, everything you said financially wise, I guess that's Cohen should not step in because that can do damage. But if I can get Alonso for the same money as somebody that Stearns would rather have, and it just is a strict baseball philosophy decision, well, then I think Cohen should have a say.
But then again, you're wrong, because what if Stearns goes, I want a great first baseman. I want a great defender. I'd rather have a left-handed bat rather than the right-handed bat. Then, Steve Cohen could have his favorites, but he's got to step back on this. He's got to let the guy run the team. Steve Cohen's job during this offseason, go and blow away Juan Soto. That's it. Otherwise, butt out.
Okay. But, I don't think Pete's a hack either.
No, he's not.
Can you find a better defender? Yeah, you can find a better defender. Can you find a better hitter? Well, it really depends on what Pete Alonso you're talking about. He's having an off year where he's still going to hit over 30 home runs. Do you know that the guy that you're going to bring in are going to put up similar numbers to Pete at the height? I mean, that's debatable. I don't know. Who's available, Michael? You may know better than I do. Who's the first baseman out there that you feel you can get that is guaranteed to be better than Pete Alonso?
Well, I know Christian Walker is going to be a free agent. He's older, but you might get him for 2 or 3 years. He's a really good player.
But Pete also brings a lot of other things to the table as well. I mean, this is somebody that it feels like the fans like. The players seem to like him, and there is something missing with this Mets franchise of not having that guy that has been here forever. Going back to my Ed Kranepool rant, take a look at the guys he's going to pass home run-wise or potentially could pass. He's tied with Mike Piazza. Mike Piazza has his number retired. He's not a forever Met. He established himself as a Hall of Famer way before he came to the Mets and then didn't finish his career with the Mets. David Wright had his career shortened because of the bad back. Darryl Strawberry, who's number one, well, Darryl Strawberry, was a forever Met until he went and signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers and then won championships with the Yankees and played in San Francisco. And, so they're kind of missing that. Is there value to that, Michael? Well, Peter, is there value to that where maybe I can be a little bit better here financially, a little bit better here glove-wise, maybe a little bit better potentially offensively, but in a sport where you still have to market yourself over 162 games, you still have to sell tickets, there's still something to entertaining your fan base over a season that what Pete Alonso represents might be worth a little bit here or there.
I believe that's worthwhile consistently across sports. I believe the Giants should have found a way to keep Saquon Barkley. They don't have a guy at quarterback who's particularly meaningful. I think it's meaningful.
But football's different because you don't have the day in, day out of a regular season like you do with baseball.
But it's a great comp by you, Peter, because he's Saquon Barkley.
Hey, except
Barkley's probably better.
Saquon's better and a little bit more beloved by the Giant fan. However, what I'm trying to say is the thing that makes Pete complicated is Michael, I don't know if the fans have that same true love for him. I've never been able to gauge how they actually feel.
But I've been making the Barkley comparison with Alonso for months. And the big difference is I've got a hard cap in football. I have to make heartless decisions. I have to only think with my brain because it's a hard cap. And he's been injury prone. And I can't afford to think about the fan base and their love for him because I've only got 8 to 9 home games, and I'm selling those games out anyway, and it's about trying to build a champion. And I have to think about the finances. You have to think about the finances in baseball to a certain extent, but at the same time, you'd have a lot more wiggle room where you can give out gold watches, that you can give a little bit more to somebody that you don't want to because it's not a hard cap sport. Yes, you can lose some international money. Yes, you can lose draft pick status. But it's not like it is in the NFL where you literally cannot fit that salary in at the expense of something really valuable in other places that are way more important than running.
But you all agree they could have fit him in. I mean, there's ways to make the salary cap dance, and I think that what Steve Cohen has to do is play the role of John Mara. John Mara wanted him back. He gave in to Joe Shane. And as Peter said at the time, that's putting Joe Shane on the hot seat. The easy thing would be to bring him back because your owner wants him back. If Steve Cohen wants Pete Alonso back and David Stearns doesn't, you got to let David Stearns have a say. And then if it doesn't play out, then you have that over his head.
Right, but in the case of the Giants, I mean, they said it during the Hard Knocks. They went out and signed 2 offensive linemen and traded for Burns. They would not have been able to do all 3 of those things if they brought Barkley back, at least according to them. Where, all right, maybe I'm not going to lose out on Juan Soto if I give Alonso a contract. You're Steve Cohen. Now, you might have to go beyond what you want to do from the luxury tax standpoint, but it's not as harsh as it is in football, where you've got to get under that cap or you're letting players that you don't want to let go. Again, I don't know how far from the luxury tax they will be or not be, depending on the $1 million here or there. But I think Cohen can get involved from a heart standpoint a lot more than Shane and Dable were able to do it with Saquon Barkley. It has to be all brain in the NFL. At least baseball, you do have a little bit of wiggle room to think with your heart.
Well, those are Diamond Notes brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the mall at Short Hills, and driven by Nissan. You deserve a car that thrills you, and Nissan's got an exciting full line that'll put goosebumps on your goosebumps. Experience the thrill for yourself. Shop your local Nissan store at nissanusa.com today. Let's take some phone calls. Let's go to Artie in Long Island. Artie, you started off.
Peter, Don, Michael.
How you doing?
First time. Yeah, everything's all right, you know. But before I give my Mets take, I'm going to chime in on the Giants real quick. I didn't want Barkley to leave personally, and I thought it was mismanagement to let him go just off a standpoint. But they could have squeezed him in, like you said, Michael. And on top of that, I like Daniel Jones. So I'm put it out there like that as well, because I don't like Tommy DeVito. I'm going to throw that out there. And lastly, I think Dable gave the season away when he didn't put Tyrod Taylor in at New Orleans, because we still had a chance to make the playoffs. And he gave a comment saying, Tommy's earned the right to start. I'm like, over Tyrod Taylor?
We felt the same way. I thought that was a silly thing, too.
At the New Orleans game, Tyrod Taylor became available back off the injury list.
Yeah.
And he said he was available, and there was a big discussion whether Tommy should start or whether Tyrod should start. We had a chance to make the playoffs. I think we might have been 5-8. And then New Orleans smacked us up. They're giving the gesture all game, disrespecting us. It was just that. I thought Daboll mismanaged that, and I don't like the way he went up against Martindale, because I never saw him do that in Buffalo. So why are you poking out your chest to the only reason why I watched Giants games all last year was for the defense? So why are you poking out your chest to the guy that galvanized the team and made fans want to watch the game in the first place? The offense was not watchable. I watched all games for the defense last year. Okay, so I think he messed up with that. You should have respected your peers, your fellow coach, and not chested him up.
Well, you know, one thing, and we thank you for the phone call. We have no idea if Martindale disrespected him. We don't know the internecine battles that were going on. Yeah. We have no idea why he would react that way. We don't. He didn't react that way to Kafka, did he? So, obviously, Martindale must have done something that rubbed Dable the wrong way. So, you're a Dable guy, or you're a Martindale guy. Okay, good. I'm not going to argue with you about that, but don't say that he did it without any reason. I'm sure there was a reason. We might not ever know the reason, but I'm sure there was a reason. Let's go to Jules in Queens.
Hey, guys. What's up?
How you doing?
Thanks for taking the call.
You got it.
Doing well. My question was, do the Yankees win the World Series or do the Mets make the playoffs? Who do you guys believe in more?
Wow. I don't think. Well, I said this about a month ago when Don and Peter were on vacation. I don't think the Mets are going to make the playoffs because I think the three teams in front of them are better. Now, could strange things happen? Yeah. So I think they're going to just miss out. In terms of the Yankees winning the World Series, they have as good a chance to win the World Series as they do to be knocked out in the first round. So if you're saying who has a better chance, I think the Yankees have a better chance to win the World Series than the Mets do to win the playoffs.
Well, I give the easy way to answer this. If Anthony has the second to check, bet ESPN, like what are the odds of the Yankees winning the World Series and what are the odds of the Mets making the playoffs? That would be Vegas's vote, right? Now, the Mets have one team to contend with right now to make it, and that's the Atlanta Braves. They're 3 games back. But they do have games with the Braves. The Braves are banged up. I think it's miraculous what they've been able to do to win despite all of their injuries. But the Yankees would have to get through, well, if they win the division, they would just have to get through the 3 rounds. If they have to settle for a wild card, it's another layer that they'd have to get through to be able to win. I would think the Yankees, what is that again, Anthony?
So Yankees are plus 500 to win the World Series. Mets are plus 300.
Yeah, there you go. So
that's where I was leaning.
That makes sense only because of the layers. The Mets have to be 3 games better than the Braves in the final 30, as opposed to the Yankees having to win all these rounds to win a championship. So I think that's where I think that's the fair
All right,
bet.
so
put your money.
take away the betting aspect of it. Do you think the Mets are making the playoffs?
I think there's a chance.
Whoa.
And you think there's a chance the Yankees will win the World Series?
And I think there's a chance the Yankees win the World Series. Now, if I am going to, we'll take betting out of it. What do I think is more likely? Well, just based on the fact that the Mets have to just make up 3 games, and it's one team they've got to be better than, as opposed to the Yankees who have to, be better than 3 or possibly 4 teams to win the championship. I would probably bet Mets. Wouldn't you, Peter?
Yes, I lean towards just slightly Mets. It seems like a more believable goal, as inconsistent as the Mets have been. Nice win last night, by the way. That to me seems like a more realistic.
And I would agree
bet.
because if the Yankees get in as a wild card, they've got a lot of layers to get to the World Series. I just don't think the Mets are going to make the playoffs because I think the Diamondbacks, Padres, and the Braves are better.
I wanted to, before we take a break here, Michael, because I have a hunch, knowing you, that's where we're going to go in a second.
Yeah.
I received wonderful feedback from yesterday in the show when I let everyone know that you can listen to us on 101.1 HD2 if you have HD radio in your car.
Right.
Ray Rowe.
I just met some listeners who won the Reset Your Preset contest.
I saw the feedback live, by the way.
Who were visiting Barton Hahn, and they said if you have HD radio, and Hahn said the same thing. He did it yesterday listening to us. The 101.1 HD2. Michael, he said it's unbelievable sound. Better than 98.7 sound. Incredible sound. So just letting people know, if you were like, I don't know about this AM thing, try the 101.1 HD2.
Love it.
Give it a shot.
Love it. Get end of summer savings at Bay Ridge Honda, where everything is affordable and
Have you heard? Soda's not a dirty word anymore. Introducing Poppy. It's the iconic, refreshing flavor you crave, but with 3 grams of sugar. The future of soda is now. Poppy. Soda's back.
Come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
Your memory is an amazing thing, but sometimes it can start to slow down. But did you know Prevagen can help keep your memory sharp? The secret is the powerful ingredient apoaquarin, originally discovered in jellyfish and found only in Prevagen. In a clinical study, Prevagen was shown to improve memory in subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired. Stay sharp and improve your memory with Prevagen. Prevagen, in stores everywhere without a prescription.
Here comes the heat!
Say hello to the Bronx Buds, Yes's first ever animated series for the whole family.
And the crowd goes wild!
Now streaming. Join Riv, Bash, Oscar, and the rest of their gang for a baseball adventure around the Big Apple.
Bronx Pride is on the line.
Hexclad presents Bronx Buds. Now streaming exclusively on the Yes app. Powered by Buy-Cow Auto Mall.
Magnifico.
You don't want to miss History on Yes, record-setting swings, and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
To back.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions. Telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Listen, I spotted it from the start. Breaking didn't even have a name yet. Bunch of kids from the South Bronx who didn't just knock on the door, they kicked it down. And today, it's your time. It's all about spotting it early. And if you do, no victory is out of reach.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
Oh, it's about to be a party in here. BetMGM's got all the sports betting in one place. And it's live, baby. Ooh, we're placing money lines in real time. We got second half spreads and third set winners as they happen. Overs hitting in extra innings. Live is where the action is at. And with BetMGM, woo, I got the best seat in the house.
Well, it's game time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Now, tonight, the Mets and the Diamondbacks coverage starts at 9 right here on 880 ESPN. The Yankees close their series at the Nationals at 6:45, and the Liberty visit the Sparks at 10. That's game time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, It's Tully time. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly.
Now, you realize that sometimes during the break is the best content. Peter and I both won Point God off of opinions we had during that break. And
You
neither
missed a
can be
lot.
shared on the air.
You missed a lot.
Really?
Tremendous.
Off color?
Opinion.
Sure.
Not off brand. I don't know. Off color, I don't think is accurate. It's off brand for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
my opinion is scandalous.
Yeah, it's more scandalous than it's just scandal. I mean, it's nothing wrong. Obviously,
Right.
It's just some really important thoughts.
And the reason it's Point God is because it might be wrong as far as to go there, but it's not wrong, in my opinion.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
I think it's accurate.
That was a mouthful.
That was quite a mouthful, really.
I'll tell you during the break, Michael.
Well, I can't wait to hear. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Kyle in Colorado. Kyle.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey there, Kyle.
Hey, guys. I've been a Yankees fan since never, because I'm a Mets fan.
Okay.
I'm sick of no one calling about the Mets.
There you go.
Can I make one or two Mets points?
Of course.
Damn right you can.
Cool. So last night, I want to give Manaea his flowers. 6.2 innings pitched, 11 Ks, got the quality start. Now, I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think he's the ace of the Mets staff? And then my number 2 point is Gary and Keith killed it on the broadcast last night. You know, the Mets got out to a big lead, and, you know, so the game slows down a little bit. But in between each inning, Gary was giving updates about Kansas City overtaking Cleveland and tying the AL Central lead, and Colorado blowing a huge lead to Miami. So I just want to give Gary his flowers because he did a great job last night.
Well, I mean, Gary does a great job every night.
That's the number one booth of
Yeah,
baseball.
we don't have to really bring that up, Kyle. Every day they're great.
He thought it was a gotcha moment, and it's not, because we all agree.
Yeah, we do. As for,
but-
I think Severino might be their ace.
It's definitely fluid. But Severino right now, I mean, he followed up the complete game, only going 5 innings, but it was a strong 5 innings in his last start. You know, we'll see what happens, the rest of this road trip. What I didn't realize, 2 things. One, that Keith Hernandez gives out the National League Gold Glove to the first baseman, like literally hands it to him. It's one of his jobs.
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
And he will not be able to do it this year because he's getting a hip replacement.
Oh,
So
that
good luck
doesn't
to
make any
Keith.
sense. You give it out next year.
No, but when he would give it out is he's having the hip roll. I guess he does it in November, whenever they award it and he gives it to them.
Michael, you
At
don't
that
do these
time
things in a
frame-
vacuum, you know.
At that time frame, he's having a hip replacement.
See, Michael, and you felt old because you struggled to catch a 9-year-old.
Yeah, he would trade.
Hip replacement, that's always a real realization moment.
No, it's not, because Al Leiter had hip replacement at the age of 45. David Cohn just had hip replacement.
But it hits different when you're in your 60s. You know what I mean?
He's in his 70s.
Who?
Keith.
I think he just turned 7.
Yeah.
So then what do we... So exactly my point.
So, I mean, I'm glad Kyle really consumed that. Gary actually gave out scores in the game.
Well,
see,
I'm
now,
going to tell you
you
something.
know, okay.
See, that was a call. I'm gonna lift it up
and show it to me
and show it to everybody.
Swing it
that
around.
was somebody that is under this false assumption that we are not the place to talk Mets, because he lied to Anthony about what he wanted to talk about.
Oh, he did?
Because he wanted Yankees because he figured, well, Michael won't take the phone call if he wants to talk about the Mets.
Then he said, I've been a Yankee fan since never.
And then he wanted to get in because he thought he was sneaking in. He thought he broke in. He thought he broke into the vault. The vault was wide open. And he's jumping up and down like he had the stethoscope and he was cracking the code. No, it was wide open. They were giving money away.
I don't know if you know this. This is the home of Mets baseball.
That's the home of Mets baseball. Michael is what we opened with the Mets, for God's sake. So don't feel that way.
I mean,
it was wide open, Peter.
I agree.
We the first phone call I took, it was supposed to be about the Mets, and the guy started to go back to 1925 with the Giants. I mean, we can only control the controllable.
Yeah, I mean, it's like breaking out like the way they're going to do with the uniforms on opening night. Talking Mel Hine. Come on.
Let's go to Dan in New Jersey. Dan.
Dan.
Hey, Michael, Don, and Peter. How are you guys today?
Great. How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm a little upset about how the Yankee game last night, but I think that happens throughout the course of the year. I'm not concerned about Jazz at third base because he's coming back from an injury, and it seems like he's struggling a little bit with the timing of the game, even though he only missed 10 games. But the guy I'm truly concerned about, DJ LeMahieu, might, quote-unquote, be the worst player in baseball right now. I don't think he's hitting 200. He's got an OPS of 500, which I believe that's Jeff Mathis territory. That's how bad DJ LeMahieu has been offensively and then defensively last night. The Trevino throw was a catchable ball, and then he completely botched the play at first base. It's like a little leaguer over there. It's ridiculous how bad DJ LeMahieu is right now. And I know they don't have any better options, but I mean, I don't understand why Ben Rice can't get a runway or why you can't have Chisholm play left and Cabrera play third. It's interesting.
Chisholm
right now.
play left?
I don't know.
Well, what would you do with Verdugo then?
You'd bench Verdugo.
Well, but isn't Verdugo better than LeMahieu?
Against the lefty?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're probably right.
Hey, let's put it this way, Dan. I can't disagree with you, and I've said it before. There's not a metric that you could show me in a world of metrics that would tell you that DJ LeMahieu deserves to play. But I believe that it comes. I don't even think it has anything to do with the money that they owe him. They don't have any better option. Ben Rice isn't hitting either. I think Ben Rice is 1 for his last 28. He's hitting 180. So, I mean, they're waiting for Rizzo to come back. And I will tell you this. Once Rizzo comes back, DJ LeMahieu becomes a bench player. He's not getting off the bench.
And I think Rizzo homered for Somerset last night, so I think he's close. He's close. He's very close.
He's close.
So you probably only have to get through this weekend.
Right, exactly. And then DJ LeMahieu will be a bench player.
So get through the Cardinals series, and then I think everything is good. Because he's right. LeMahieu's become the new Gallo. He's going to have to be on the bench. He's just going to have to be. Now, I would still play Rice, but maybe they just don't want to damage his confidence because I think there's upside. I think LeMahieu's on the downside, Michael. He's playing it out here. Rice, I think, has a future, but maybe they don't want to damage that future if he's 1 for 28 and think they're going to ruin his confidence.
I think, Don, that they're probably hoping, praying, wishing that somewhere in there is the old DJ LeMahieu, even if it's for a couple of weeks, because, again, there's nothing that you could show me on a sheet that says he should be getting any at-bats. And, I'm watching the game last night, and Finnegan's on the mound, who's a righty, and they have a chance in the 9th inning to tie the game, and he kept LeMahieu in there. And he had Cabrera on the bench, he had Rice on the bench, he had Trent Grisham on the bench. He had a lot of options to go to. And, I knew he would have a reason, and he did. He said that Finnegan's a real split guy. He's much better against lefties than he is against righties. He's a reverse split guy. But what I would say to Aaron is this. But DJ LeMahieu's not hitting anybody. So righty, well, what does it matter? He's not hitting anybody. So isn't it better to have Oswaldo Cabrera try?
This is the massaging of the numbers you were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're always trying to find, but what is the motivation, though? What is the motivation to dig down and find some number to get him to hit? Other than, listen, we want this to work out because we're paying him a lot of money, and we want it to be out there. You can't give me maybe somewhere from a few years ago is going to come back out. I mean, you got to live in the now. And maybe, listen, Aaron Boone knows way more baseball than we do. Maybe he sees something and sees something in the current DJ that's about to come out. But just to look at the back of the baseball card and think that 2 years ago is going to happen again, no, I think that's the wrong way to look at it. So I'm sorry, Michael. I think the contract might have something to do with it.
But it can't, Don. They've got 2 more years at $15 million a year. So, I mean, there's no way that he's going to project into playing 2 more years. So, I mean, you might as well, you could keep him on the team, but he doesn't have to play. Again, there's not a metric. Bat speed, exit velocity, foot speed.
Cooked.
I mean, there's nothing that you could show me that said, and if he's seeing something, with all due respect, Peter, he's wrong. It's not there.
You said it with all due respect.
With all due respect, he's wrong.
But I could say that, but again, my motivation is something different. Because I can't argue with Aaron, but if Aaron Boone sees something, I can't say, well, I see something different. All right, let's deal. You played Major League Baseball. You've been a manager for 8 years, and I'm just a fan. I'm going to lose that.
Well, he'll tell you what he told John Boy.
Standpoint.
When you manage, you could do it.
Right, but and that's the wrong attitude to take, because I do think our opinion does have value, but not as much as the manager of the New York Yankees. But I could tell you, okay, I don't think you're even seeing the numbers differently. I think you're choosing to see them differently for another motivation, for another reason. And you may disagree, Michael, but the contract might be one of the things on the table. Yes, there's no way he's going to play his way into being on this team 2 more years. But is it possible that, hey, Rice has got a bright future, he'll get his day, but right now I'm going to try to squeeze as much out of LeMahieu as I can and make him worth the money that he's making in 2024? I might be wrong, but I think there's evidence to suggest that maybe there is a motivation behind that.
I just think they're trying to keep their head above water until Rizzo. And you could say, well, Rizzo wasn't playing. Rizzo was Lou Gehrig compared to what LeMahieu's giving them.
But Rice also, when he first came up, was hitting
now
well.
He's hitting 180.
All right, but that could be just a slump.
But it's a long slump.
I understand, because he's a kid, and maybe he's not going to pan out to be anything. But if I'm going to apply, well, he's in a slump and he can't hit, why can't I apply that to LeMahieu? Or you say because he's got a past. Well, they must think Rice is a future. He's on this team. They selected him, so I'd rather bet on a kid's future that showed me something earlier than a guy that clearly to me looks like he's done.
Well, it's time for Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Eisner Amper. Aaron Judge grounded into his 3rd double play this season with the bases loaded. That's more times than in his first 8 seasons combined.
Well, then how can you be a great player then, Mike? Let's be honest. How can you be a forever Yankee when you're doing
Just
that?
Stop yourself. That's Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Eisner Amper, a leading business advisory firm helping clients transform their companies, build capital, innovate processes, and mitigate risk. Make Eisner Amper part of your solution. Learn more at EisnerAmper.com/solution. Don, tell us about Mazda, please.
Want to turn hair loss into hair gains? With Hims, discover a range of prescription treatments in a variety of convenient forms, like the quick-drying 4-in-1 spray. Products are formulated with doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil, so you can stop hair loss and regrow hair in just 3 to 6 months for more confident hair days. Regain thicker, fuller hair now. Get started today at hims.com.
With Udemy, there's a world of possibility at your fingertips. With one click, you're in the leading online marketplace for learning and skills. Want to become an AI expert? This is learning from real-world experts around the globe. Want to awaken your artistic side? This is learning your way. Want to switch professions? Help your team reskill? This is Udemy, the power of possibilities.
Welcome to the Warby Parker Color Studio. Each season, we perform intensive research and experimentation to capture the perfect colors for new eyewear. This summer, we are excited to present such shades as raspberry, apricot, juniper crystal, and many more. Find the color of your summer. Shop eyewear starting at $95, including prescription lenses, in stores and at warbyparker.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
There's a new side to Away. A side designed to stand out, but deep down is a real softie. It has pockets to keep things close, but it can also open up and expand. It's tougher than it looks and is filled with surprises for anyone who's been waiting to embrace their softer side. The wait is over.
Now arriving, soft side suitcases from Away.
Hey,
Rental? Yep. You? Yeah. You know, your shoe's untied. Oh!
Don't let a boxy suit ruin your night. Read from theblacktux.com.
Freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
At Domino's, our stores now have quality captains.
Impress me.
Those who demand perfection.
Topping distribution, horrible.
They're not afraid to criticize your pizza.
Terrible. Pathetic. I hate it.
Thank you. Until it's perfect.
I don't have to think about this one. It's a yes. Yes. Yes.
We're holding your pizza to an even higher standard.
Guess who works at Domino's?
You don't want to miss History on Yes.
Just marvel at what we're witnessing.
Record-setting swings and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
Back to back to back. Oh, ho, ho. Putting on a show.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
How much fun is it to watch him play every single day?
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
I have sickle cell. I've had lots and lots of blood transfusions over my lifetime. I'm most grateful that people are willing to go out there and take their time, their blood, and give me new life.
Oh, yeah. It's time for tonight's Yankees starting lineup on 880 ESPN, brought to you by Bigelow Tea. Batting first, playing second, Gleyber Torres. Juan Soto in right field will hit second. Hitting third, playing center field, Aaron Judge. Giancarlo Stanton, the DH, is going to clean up. Batting fifth and catching, Austin Wells. Anthony Volpe, the shortstop, will bat sixth. Batting seventh, playing third base, Jazz Chisholm Jr. DJ LeMahieu is back in the lineup, playing first base, batting eighth. And batting ninth and playing left field, it's Alex Verdugo with Carlos Rodon on the mound. That's tonight's Yankees starting lineup, brought to you by Bigelow Tea. Bigelow Tea is a proud supporter of the Michael Kay Show and the official hot tea of the New York Yankees. Hey, calling all football fans, enter the ESPN New York Survivor Pool for a chance to win $2,000. Make your pick each week of the football season. Find out how you stack up against your favorite ESPN New York personalities. But be careful, one wrong pick and you'll be eliminated. The last one standing will take home the title of the inaugural ESPN New York Survivor Pool champion and, of course, $2,000. Enter now on the ESPN New York app. Let's go back to the phone calls. Let's go to Hank in North Carolina. Hank.
Hey, guys. How are you all?
Good. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm fine. I am 70 years old, and I've been rooting for the Yankees since 1964.
All right.
And back when actually, I believe that's wrong. Well, no, that's about right. Because they were in Greensboro from 59 to 67. And I had the pleasure of one of my favorite players being Roy White when he was down here. Got to see him in 1A, and a guy named Chet Trail that didn't make it past AA. He was my favorite player. He was actually, to be honest with you, if you look at his numbers, he was better than Roy was, but he never made it out of the minors. But I've always been a Yankee fan. A couple of years ago when Judge started going on the 62, my wife and I started watching, and we have not missed I don't think we've missed but about 2 games since the 62 year.
Oh, great.
Here on television. We really love it. One of the main reasons we listen to it is your broadcast crews. We enjoy the way that you guys not only make the Yankees shine, but you're always hospitable to the other team. And we've listened to a couple other broadcasts.
Thank you so much, Hank. We appreciate that phone call. Very nice of you. Let's go to Matt in Long Island City. Matt.
Hey, guys. In response to kind of the callers we tried to got you with the Mets, I've had this theory for a while about why there's so few Mets calls, or it feels like at the time.
Okay.
That I think it goes beyond, one team is more popular than the other. I think most of the time people are calling in to complain, because complaining is much more motivation to call than like being happy. So the Yankees fans, most of the calls are just like, even though Judge is having the best year ever, you feel like you get all these calls, Clay Holmes is not a closer, Aaron Boone, please bring back Joe Girardi or Joe Torre. So Yankees fans, because of the mission statement that, you guys talk about all the time, they'll always have something to complain about until we win a World Series. Whereas, Mets fans coming into the year didn't have, I remember a lot of Mets calls at the beginning of the year when Lindor was bad and the Mets were having the worst thing ever. But now that they're just pretty good, there's not really any motivation to call.
Yeah, but you know what? I think there's some legitimacy in that, Matt, but I got to ask you this. They're not a perfect team. Isn't there things to complain about?
Well, I appreciate his effort, and I think there's some truth to that. But I do think it's all about perspective. The Yankee announcer on the Yankee television network, I think a lot of these calls on the Yankees are coming from TV because it's a lot easier to call from home when you're watching on television than if you're in your car or listening on your app. And they look at it as, I want to talk Yankees with a Yankee announcer on the Yankee network.
But now with the Mets radio network.
Michael, I've been a Yankee fan since 1983.
Is this Aaron?
And I really enjoyed really all the teams all along the years. I liked Don Zimmer. I liked Don Madden.
All right, thank you for the phone call. Let's go to Richard in Manhattan.
Everybody named Don.
Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, know your role, Peter.
He chose Richard over me.
Oh, I thought,
Michael,
yes.
Don, Peter.
How you doing?
Fellas, what Jeter did, winning 5 rings compared to Yogi's 10, is more impressive. The layers of playoff make everything so much more difficult. Now, the Yankees, you're saying, are getting 5-1. All right, let's assume they're in the playoffs. And, that's a little bit of a risk, but very little. Okay, they're in. To win 3 series, that's 2 to the third. That's 8-1. It could be anything. To win 3 series or to flip a coin and get heads 3 straight times, it's 8-1 odds. So the Yankees or any other team that play 3 series, 2 to the third, it's 8-1. A play-in game for a team with the 1 game, that's 16-1. That's 2 to the fourth. Now, for the Yankees to get 5-1, you're saying, in odds, that's not a good bet at all. All right, the Yankees will get home field. They're a better team than most of the other teams. Very little advantage. At the minimum, you've got to get 7-1, or at the minimum 6.5 to 7. But 5-1, that's not a good bet at all. You'll lose your shirt. That is not smart betting. Mets, I haven't figured out yet now, but the Yankees, that's for sure. Not a bet. Fellas, I want to give one last thing before I hang up on you guys. One of the greatest things in sports that I've seen, and I don't think it'll ever be done again. Now, you can say in the old days it wouldn't happen because guys didn't leave. LeBron James has won 3 championships, 3 different franchises, being the main man. There's nobody else close. The only guy I can think of is Jabbar. When he was Lou Alcindor, won at UCLA, then won with the Bucks, and then won with the Lakers. And after that, of course, Magic's team. But still, he was the main man for at least one of the championships. But he never won on 3 teams. That may never, ever, ever happen again. So when people discuss with Michael Jordan or this, say what you want about his character, leaving teams, it still doesn't make it easier than what he did. So people have to remember, and I've never heard it said on the radio or anywhere, how great a feat that is. Now, it may happen because guys come and go now, and they leave teams, chase rings, which is fine, but still you have to accomplish what he did. And no one's ever done it. I've gone through my head, and I can't think of anyone in any sport, baseball, football, hockey, or basketball, except LeBron James. Fellas, always a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, well, but he answered his own question, is that guys leave more. If this were 50 years ago, LeBron James would have been a Cavalier his entire career.
Do you think that I'm losing it, Don? That like midway through that call, I almost started to cry.
Now,
actually cry?
I need to know why.
I didn't know how to get out of it. First of all, we had a call from North Carolina. The guy was sweet and everything, but the whole history of his Yankee fandom, then it sounded like Peter was imitating him. And then we go to Richard. I almost started to weep.
Well, my thing was funny. I don't know why he threw that in with the two horrible moments. That's unfortunate.
Because I thought you were mocking a caller. I didn't know what you were doing.
No, I'm mocking everything. It's just satire. It wasn't him personally. He seemed like a lovely guy.
Very lovely.
But there is something about Yankee fanship that people, there's a real importance to the fanship. I guess it's just, but it's like to root for a team that's won a lot. You have like this, Don, we couldn't understand it, but there's some sort of connection to the, like,
that's why you came up with I've been a Yankee fan since, because you don't do that with any other team, and I don't understand it. Knicks have been around forever.
I've
Giants
been a
have been
Yankee
around
fan
forever.
since 1969.
Oh, look at that one.
Right?
Been a Yankee fan since 71.
Giants been around since 25.
Been a Yankee fan since 1982.
Anthony Greek just told me that Richard from Manhattan, the dentist,
yeah,
called up FAN today at 5:20 a.m. He never stops. How does he do his business?
You know what they call when you get that call late at night? You know what it's called? Dick at night.
Holy cow, I've been a Yankee fan since 1957.
That was pretty good. See?
Hey, soak up end of summer savings at Bay Ridge Mazda. Get 0%.
How easy is it to play the lottery with Jackpocket? Step 1, grab your phone. Step 2, download Jackpocket and start ordering tickets for your favorite state lottery games. Step 3, let the good times roll. Jackpocket is so easy to use from home or on the go. And there have been over $500 million in total prizes won. So now, the easiest way to enjoy the lottery is right in your pocket. Jackpocket. Download America's #1 lottery app today.
Thank you, buddy. There are many families that need your help. I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I'm asking you to support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation in their efforts to deliver mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star, and fallen first responders families with young children, as well as eradicating homelessness amongst our veterans. Everybody knows where the money's going. Every single dollar. God bless you. Please contribute $11 a month to support their efforts by visiting T2T.org.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Returning lessees can now lease a Ford F-150 for just $299 a month for 24 months, only at your local Ford stores.
Feel October in the air today.
These games mean something. You want to win the division. The crowd is pumped up. So much at stake.
This is the battle of the American League East.
You don't want want to miss history on Yes as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record and the battle for the AL East reaches a fever pitch on Yes and the Yes app.
Poll conducted by ESPN today. I think it was 103 NFL players. And they asked them a variety of questions about a variety of things. And some of the things were very, very interesting. So one of them was the most overrated quarterbacks in football. And number one was Josh Allen. And tied for second, Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. I don't see the overrated with Allen. I think Allen's great. Does he make some strange throws? Yeah, because he's so great. So that anybody that would say that Allen is overrated, Peter, would have to also say that Brett Favre was overrated. He's the same sort of quarterback, only better. Because Brett Favre made throws on the run. You say, why is he making that throw? Why is he trying to put that in that window? And he got picked off a lot. Josh Allen, I'd take him on my team any day of the week. So for players to say he's overrated, and there's one other thing, another poll that they had, another question that they had, top trash talker in the league. And Josh Allen is number one. So you think that might have something to do with them rating him underrated? Or overrated?
That's exactly where I was going. There has to there's two possibilities. Number one, there is always the possibility, Michael, that football players, particularly in football more than any other sport, view their players in different lights, a different light than us non-players view them, right? That is a possibility.
Sure, they see things we don't.
So sometimes they'll see a quarterback and be like, oh, my God, everyone thinks this guy's special. They don't realize it's all his receivers. He's not good, right? That can happen. It seems like that would be very hard with Josh Allen. You look at him statistically. The last 4 years, Michael, he's over 4,200 yards every year. In those years, he threw for 37, 36, 35, and 29 touchdowns. His highest number of picks was last year, 18. He has his team, it seems like, competing to potentially be in the Super Bowl conversation every year. So to me, to see him that high on the overrated list means it has to be related to the trash talk. And just that they don't like him.
That's it. They don't like him because he's got a big mouth.
Right, and it's hard to have a big mouth when you haven't won. Now, Hurts got 10 votes, Tua got 10, so it's very close. What do all three of those guys have in common? They haven't won, although Hurts has played in a Super Bowl. But I think Allen, because he's not protective of the football. All right, I mean, take a look at the Jet games last year. The Jets beat the Bills on opening day. The Jets should have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs, too. Remember, they had them on the ropes. Mahomes wouldn't have it. Matter of fact, not only did the Chiefs win the game, they ended up covering, thanks to a couple of drives from Mahomes late. That's the difference, right? I mean, if you're going to trash talk, if you're going to be the man, if you're going to be considered elite, then you better win. You better back it up. And not that it's his fault, but he hadn't even played in a championship game yet. Like, so that's good. That's certainly going to hurt you. Hurts is interesting, Michael, because he has gone to a Super Bowl. He's still very young. Tua, I kind of get because it seems like he's been on the fast track and they haven't even won a playoff game yet. But Hurts is very interesting to be just one shy of being the most overrated.
Now,
in the eyes of those
they
players.
also had the best quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes was number one. Jackson was number two. Burrow was number three. Josh Allen, although overrated, was number four. And number five was Aaron Rodgers. You have any complaints with that?
No. I mean, who would be left out that you would say should be there?
No one. That I would really complain should be top five?
Well, I mean, you would think Heineke, right?
Justin Herbert hasn't won anything. No. I'm not going to have a problem with him not being on that list.
Jordan Love isn't there yet.
And again, no, Love isn't there yet.
Jalen Hurts, no. Tua, no.
Now,
I'm fine with it.
We've had this conversation a million times. Overrated seems so pejorative, but overrated is just stating we think you have him rated higher than he should be. So I guess by a lot of those same people having him as the fourth best quarterback, what they're saying is, well, if you have Josh Allen as the best quarterback, you know what? He's overrated. He's not top three, but he's close.
I don't think anybody has him the top rated. That's why I don't understand as overrated. who, I mean, everybody has unanimously, it would be Mahomes. Although it can't be unanimous because these other guys got votes too.
But I would say if we were to ask who are the top quarterbacks in the NFL, you'd say Mahomes, you'd say Jackson, and you Allen over Burrow. If you have Allen in the same conversation with Mahomes and Jackson, you overrate him. And I think there are people that put Allen in that category. You had him on the first table, Peter. So,
and I would do it again.
Right.
A guy who has that big an arm and is mobile and is a winner and has his team competing every single year. There has been...
And he's had Diggs, but it's not like he's been laden with talent. I mean,
Diggs.
That's his big...
there was,
Stephon, by the way.
Oh, Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs.
There's not many more.
Right, exactly. And that was always weird.
Now they won't have him this year.
Now let's talk about underrated. And by the way, remember the SI poll from like 10 years ago, most overrated baseball player? Derek Jeter?
Yeah.
Yeah. 3,500 hits, and other than one lunatic, otherwise unanimous Hall of Fame selection.
But that was probably based out of jealousy.
And I think that's with Josh Allen, too.
But what are you jealous of? He doesn't have any rings.
But I think they're jealous of the fact that he's, he's on national TV a lot. He's a trash talker. I think there has to be something in there. Anyway, here's underrated. It's a two-way tie for first place. Brock Purdy and Matthew Stafford. I don't know if Matthew Stafford is underrated. Do you?
Well, I don't know. I need to know where they're rating him.
Well, no, I could see it because you never put him in the conversation for the best. And, Michael, maybe that's one of those things like I was just talking about, but he's the kind of player that other players, when they see him up close, just think he's absolutely nasty. And fans never talk about him being the guy. He's never been that. He's a Super Bowl champion now. He's got one of the biggest arms in the league. He's got a lot of stats. He was great even being stuck in Detroit forever. So I could see how that could happen. I don't hate that.
So we have a four-way tie for second. Goff, Bryce Young, Love, and I can't read my writing on the other one. It starts with a C.
No, you got Cousins, right? Yeah.
Cousins, Goff, Love, and Bryce Young.
Bryce Young is curious to me.
He's underrated. I think people have him rated just fine.
I mean, but I mean, how are you rating him? He was on the worst team in the NFL. He's a kid, okay? And, listen, I don't think his stats were okay. I mean, 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, completed 60% of his passes for 2,877 yards on a team that went, he went 2-14 as a starter. It was the worst team in football. I mean, I don't know how to rate him. Now, if you think he's the worst quarterback in football, I mean, I think that's unfair because he's on the worst team in football. I don't know how much better you can do in your rookie year when your team is terrible. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know why you would even bring him into the conversation. How could you possibly rate him?
I would agree with you. I don't know why he's even on that list.
Unless you're going to say, I just think he's bad. I think they got the pick wrong. Well, if that's the case, then maybe I could see it because that's probably unfair.
No, but he wouldn't be on this list. They're saying he's underrated.
I don't know how you could say that. I don't know how you could say it.
Yeah, who's rating him high after last year?
You can't. The only thing you can do is destroy him based on his record. And again, his stats weren't great on a terrible team that was supposed to be terrible. Now, I don't know.
This befuddles you. I can hear it.
You seem befuddled.
But
I'm sensing befuddlement.
Well, how Peter, if you're the biggest, where are you going to rate him?
You know what? If you replace Bryce Young, right, and said C.J. Stroud, then I understand it. It's almost like, okay, C.J. Stroud is great, but people don't think he's great yet, so he's underrated. But Bryce Young, who rates him at all? I don't think he's on anybody's mind.
I need more information, man. And again, I think it's unfair to destroy him. So I think it's unfair to just. Well, I guess if you want to say, I think there's real talent there. I guess that's what they're trying to help the kid out. That I think don't go by his stats. I think I know not to do that because the team was terrible. But you said Stroud, right? I think everybody figured Houston wasn't going to be very good. Jets crushed them earlier in the season. We were talking about that yesterday, and they're making the playoffs. So it's odd when you talk to players.
Yeah, that's the thing also, though. Players really do, as much as we should respect them, I'm good.
1-800-919-3776. Were you about to say something, Donald?
No, I was not. I was just looking to see if there's anything on the list, else on the list.
He did leave out the top rookie quarterback.
And what do they have?
At the top, it's completely split. 35 said Caleb Williams will be the best one, and 30 said Jaden Daniels. Big drop-off after that to J.J. McCarthy.
Well, he's not playing this year.
I would hope that was
I recommend that you
who knows?
Go down. Yeah.
Let's go back to the phones. 1-800-919-3776. You know, Dovin Passaic wanted to ask this question yesterday. I don't know why he's fixated on this, but let's give it a go. Dove?
I am very happy to be calling you. I'm listening on the app. I think that Will Warren could be a real difference maker. I think the Yankees are going to need a starting pitcher. Now, I mean, Michael, you had mentioned him in a very high note that he's very capable. He's got a lot of potential. I want to know what you thought at this point and if he could possibly be a contributor, because I think that I'm thrilled. I think the Yankees have a good shot at winning the World Series this year, and as long as you have a shot, you have to be happy.
I don't think he's going to be a factor at all. I think he's hurt them. He's had 3 starts that, you know, none of them have been overly impressive. I think he's got pretty good stuff that maybe, you know, he's not a hard thrower. I think he tops out at 93, so his command has to be perfect. It hasn't been that at all. They're not going to need him if Clark Schmidt comes back and Heel comes off the IL. So, and Poteet would be the guy that would plug in if anybody got hurt. So, yeah, I don't think Will Warren's going to be a factor at all. If he is, that's not good. If Will Warren's a factor, that's not good. Let's go to Horace in Long Island. Horace.
Yes, Mr. K, my favorite Yankee commentator.
Oh, thank you, sir.
What I wanted to ask you, why is it that any time and every time the Yankees have a celebration, they never seem to win? Since 1993, I've been watching the Yankees. Since I come here from Jamaica. The Yankees never win when they have a celebration. I don't understand why. I never heard you talk about it either.
I think they have won on Old Timers Day. They just don't win that much on Old Timers Day, and I don't know why they wouldn't win on Old Timers Day, since I think there was one player that was in the dugout watching it. That was Garrett Cole, and he didn't start on Saturday.
Again, don't hold me to it, because Fun with Numbers had something over the weekend. Mm-hmm. That I think the Yankees have lost their last 16 games when someone was honored or Old Timers Day.
Last 16?
Yeah. And he had it down. I got to find it, because he definitely deserves to get the credit for it. Because we enjoy Fun with Numbers.
No, Fun with Numbers is a good listener. Stephen in Edison. Stephen.
Hey, guys. I'm calling because I was wondering, what do you think should be a bigger concern for the Yankees? Losing Soto in free agency or losing Cole in free agency if he opts out? Thanks.
Oh, definitely losing Soto. I mean, all you have to do to keep Cole, if he opts out, you add another year and he's got to stay. It's not like he's going to be bid on by 30 teams. If you add that 10th year to his contract, then he's not a free agent. So it's not even close. There's more of a fear of losing Soto. Soto's going to be bid on by everybody. Right. If you could stop the bidding by adding that 10th year.
But even if you were to lose him, you're still losing, 32 starts as opposed to a guy that's going to play north of 155 games and put up MVP numbers. Again, no offense to Cole. They survived when he was hurt. He's 5-3, and the Yankees are still in first place. You took Juan Soto away from this team, Michael. Where are they right now?
They're probably out of the playoff picture.
Right. Or if they're in the playoff picture, it's as, battling for the third wild card. So that's the difference. And I also think there's a legitimate concern that you're going to lose Soto. There is zero concern you're losing Cole.
Unless you want to. Unless you don't give him that 10th year.
And I don't think that's and I don't think that's going to be an issue. Do you?
I do not think it is. I would believe, though, in a year where you pitch half the year, it would take some hubris to opt out, but I think he's going to, because the Yankees can't afford to lose him. Now, if the Yankees think that, is he going to be physically able to hold up? Right now, it's one of the great free agent contracts ever signed. He has 4 more years left after this. But if he opts out, all of a sudden it's 5. Does he have enough to be great 5 more years? So it's going to be interesting. I take that back. It's not going to be interesting because they'll automatically do it. They can't afford to lose him. Let's go to Americo in Plattsburgh.
Yes, good afternoon, Michael. I love your show. I called before.
Thank you.
And I was cut off. But the reason I'm calling you is to get your thoughts on the MVP this year. We all know that Judge is probably 99%. But I want to put the word Witt from Kansas City. I think his stats are crazy. Also, Mike, I've been watching your show for 2-3 years, and you guys are the best.
Oh, thank you.
But one thing I like to know, Mike, you've been with the Yankees 30-some years. I'd like to know your thoughts on your all-time batting 1 through 9 in the last 30 years. To pick one lineup.
Well, the Judge is going to win the MVP. Unless, God forbid, he gets hurt and doesn't play in September, and then Witt goes on a tear, because their wars are fairly close. So I'm not going to just dismiss Witt. I believe that Judge should be unanimous. As for the best Yankee lineup, so I guess I didn't. I'll just take it from when I was an announcer. So that eliminates Mattingly. I guess your first baseman is going to be Tino or Teixeira. I take Tino. Your second baseman is going to be Cano. Your shortstop's going to be Jeter. Third base, A-Rod, Posada, Bernie in center, O'Neill in right. No, Judge is over O'Neill. Judge in right.
Now, who's your left fielder?
I guess you have to play with Judge and Soto, right? Because what's your left fielder's choice? It's going to be. I guess you have to say, okay, Judge is going to play left and Soto is going to play right. Matsui, I guess, could be thought of, but Soto's better. And your DH, I guess it has to be Stanton, right?
I guess. I don't know. DH.
Smeh, as a wise man once said. Wait, you put A-Rod at third?
Yes.
Who else would it be?
You wanted to play around so this is from when?
In the 33
Michael's
years that I've done. So I guess you could make
the Dave Winfield.
You could make. Well, I didn't announce Dave, so it's only as an announcer. I would say maybe Judge is your DH and O'Neill's in right.
Yeah,
there you go. You could play around that way.
I like what you did there. All right, somebody found the Fun with Numbers. It's not 0 and 16. It's since 2013. They've lost 16 games when honoring someone or Old Timers Day. Eight losses on Old Timers Day since 2013.
But how many games is that? So they've lost 16, but how many days?
I don't know. How many times have they honored somebody in the last decade?
Well, 13. The 1 year there was no Old Timers Day because of the pandemic. So let's say there's 10 Old Timers Days. So you had Bernie Williams Day, you had Derek Jeter Day, you had Rivera Day, you had Pettit.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Rivera and Pettit were on the same day against the Giants. They lost 2-1. Paul O'Neill Day, they lost to the Guardians 3-0. Derek Jeter Day, they lost to the Royals 2-0. Bernie Williams Day, they lost to the Rangers 5-2. Andy Pettit Day, so I guess they did something separate. They lost to the Guardians 4-3. Derek Jeter number 2, I guess they honored him a second time.
They retired his number.
All right, lost to the Astros 10-7. When Jeter was honored after going to the Hall of Fame, they lost 4-2 to the Rays. John Sterling Day, they lost to the Rays 2-0 in 10 innings. So are we missing any?
So you're saying Horace makes some salient points.
What he's saying, Peter, is don't have any more days. That's what he's saying.
So I'm sure they've won, but obviously not that many. I guess they do have a losing record. And I remember whenever the Giants would honor somebody, they'd get pulverized. I remember they got killed on Monday Night Football when they honored LT. They got killed on Monday Night Football when they retired Phil Simms' number. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things, but I don't think they should stop honoring people, Michael, but the record does look like it's a losing one.
Let's go to Kurt in Port Washington. Kurt.
Hey, Michael, Don, Peter, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good, good. I have a question from your earlier segment about Alonso and whether the Mets should re-sign him. But based on your conversation about quarterbacks, I have to ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 70 years old, so I used to watch Joe Namath. And the guy, in your opinion, had he not won a Super Bowl, I mean, the guy threw 1,000 interceptions.
Yep.
Had he not won a Super Bowl, would he be rated the way he's rated?
No.
I don't know if he goes to. Well, he doesn't go to the Hall of Fame.
He doesn't go to the Hall of Fame without that ring.
And that was not just a Super Bowl. That was like the Super Bowl.
No, you're right. It's just that when I'm old enough to watch him many years, the guy had a great arm. But he threw so many interceptions. It was incredible.
Didn't hurt Brett Favre, but Favre also won.
Well, you know what's an interesting point, though? Coming on the heels, Kurt, of yesterday's conversation that we had on the show about sort of the indescribable way that we use rings in deciding greatness. And how for some players it means everything, and for others it doesn't. For Namath, it means everything.
I think this stat still holds. He is the only quarterback to win a Super Bowl MVP not to throw a touchdown pass of the game. A lot of it has to do with that guarantee.
Yeah, he probably won that MVP at the pool.
Yeah, at the pool. And also the falsehood, the absolute falsehood of that it had anything to do with the merger. The merger was already done. But the fun narrative is that win helped the merger. But it's so disrespectful to the Jets. I don't think it was that big of an upset. They never played the Colts. They didn't have equal schedules. They didn't have common opponents. It was a complete disrespect. Nobody wanted to respect the AFL. That's why they were a 14-point dog. Vegas got it wrong. So they made it seem like it was a great upset. The Jets were a great team. And then Len Dawson's Chiefs beat the Vikings the very next year. So, again, you know how I feel about Joe Namath. He is a friend of the show. Love him. But I do think that ring and that guarantee is the reason he's Hall of Fame. He threw more interceptions than touchdown passes. 176
touchdowns, 220 for interceptions.
Now, not nobody's saying he's not a great player, but I think that guarantee in that Super Bowl locked him into the Hall of Fame.
To me,
now those things happen, so you shouldn't have to take it away.
Listen, I think about Doug Williams. If Doug Williams had played a few more years, I think he would have ended up in a Hall of Fame conversation in a similar way to Joe Namath. The historic nature of him winning the quarterback, especially being the first black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl, he had these up and down numbers his entire career, but you have this historic Super Bowl. But Williams, the fact of the matter is Namath was the Jets quarterback for a very long time.
All right, we're going to have Mike Lupica coming on in our next segment. And then at 5 o'clock, we're going to have CC Sabathia coming on.
How you like that?
How you like that?
What do you think?
Times have changed, I'll tell you that. But first, Peter wants to tell us about FanDuel.
We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We've worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to CustomInc.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our Custom Ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at CustomInc.com.
Never read a line of poetry, I'm not a poet, but I sit up in the back of my buttons cause I'm fresh. Never read a book on how to rip it, I just know it, I don't need your explanation cause I'm better than the rest. Better than the rest. Better than the rest. Let me take you for a ride. I can make you feel alive.
We are both full-time active duty military, so our schedule
varies. We are extremely busy, especially with both of us working.
During the week, we have limited time to go grocery shopping, so it's perfect to just come home and have something already in place.
And then you save money too. You just simply pay for what you're going to eat.
Yeah.
You don't have anything wasted. You're not going out to eat a lot. You're staying in the house and you're cooking the food that you bought.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Scheduling is easy with Square appointments. Clients can book online 24/7. Take payments at your station or the front desk. To offer seamless checkouts. Keep track of commissions and split tips with just a few clicks. Gain time and peace of mind with beauty tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today at square.com.
Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, just stressed out.
Oh, and the melody is sounding so much better. I can play it for you. Wait, where's your guitar?
I gave it to your cousin.
What? That guitar's like your favorite thing.
I don't need it anymore. Some things are just better than others.
I think you should go talk to someone.
It's not that easy.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
Listen, I spotted it from the start. Breaking didn't even have a name yet. All that potential, just waiting to burst free. I think about every battle. Kids from the South Bronx who didn't just knock on the door, they kicked it down. And today, what I saw in us is the same thing I see in you. It's your time. It's all about spotting it early. And if you do, no victory is out of reach.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $199 a month. Or well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR when you finance with GM Financial.
Chris Sharon back here for the Michael K. Show. These highlights are brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. It was not a good night for the Bombers all around. The offense went 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, stranding 8 base runners. And defensively, they committed 4 errors, 3 of those coming in the 6th inning that allowed Washington to push another run across for a 4-0 lead. Yankees ace Garrett Cole entered his start last night, allowing just 3 runs over his last 4 starts. He allowed 3 over 5 frames in D.C. Yankees lose 4-2. Cole allowed 2 homers on fastballs last night. Afterwards, he told reporters the pitches were both executed well. It was just the wrong pitch. He thought he had good stuff and command, and also went on to say the Nationals just ultimately beat him. The rubber match happens tonight on Prime in the series finale, with coverage beginning at 6 p.m. with the pregame show. First pitch scheduled for a little after 6:30. And after the final out, don't forget to come back to Yes for full postgame coverage.
Okay, so it means it's Wednesdays with Lupica, and the great Daily News columnist and best-selling author joins us right now. Mike, it's Michael, Don, and Peter. How you doing?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
We're doing great. You've seen a lot of sports in your life. Have you ever seen anything like what Judge is doing?
No. No, I called Elias the other day and asked him, we've all been seeing what this 100-game stretch was like statistically, over 375, over 45 homers, over 100 RBIs. The only time it ever happened in baseball history over a 100-game stretch was Bonds in 2001, and that's not even worth being part of this conversation. He has been, since the end of April, the best hitter I've ever seen. Best hitter I've ever seen, the most dangerous hitter I've ever seen. I was emailing with one of my heroes today, the great Gay Talese, you know, Michael, and he was saying the most shocking thing that he's seen in the Yankee season so far was Judge hitting into that double play with the bases loaded last night.
Now, one of the things that we've argued about back and forth over the last couple of days, his standing in Yankee history, does it decrease if he never wins a ring?
No, it doesn't decrease, Michael, but it won't be where it belongs. And because ultimately, Reggie used to talk about it before the math changed in baseball sometimes, that you're hired to win 11 games in October. And that's when we still expected the Yankees to win those 11 games in October, which is something they have not done in 15 years. But for his Yankee resume and what we think of as the Yankee brand for the greatest players to be what it ought to be, he's got to. And again, he can't control it.
Right.
He's got to be in the World Series at least once.
But like you just said, it's baseball. Now, I think what's hurt him, he's a .211 hitter so far in the postseason in his career. So his numbers certainly can be better. But like this year, they've got a team that can win a championship. What if he goes off in the postseason and they still lose? What if his numbers over the next 8 years are stellar in the postseason, but they lose for this reason, that reason, and the other reason? Can he then get up from it because he can at least have the stats to back it up?
Well, Don, I don't think he's underneath it, and obviously there's a lot of the story still to be written. The hole in his resume right now is his postseason resume. Stanton's been a better hitter in the postseason for the Yankees since he got here. I mean, it's easy to check up. Okay, all I'm saying is for this young man to be remembered the way he ought to be remembered as a Yankee. And again, he's having far better years and far better numbers than my favorite Yankee of all, Don Mattingly, did. But we don't want, we've talked about this on other Wednesdays. We don't want him to get a lot deeper into his career and start to risk not having made the series the way Donnie never did.
All right, we were talking earlier today about another New York home run hitter. If you're running the Mets, Mike, are you bringing back Pete Alonso for what could be, Boris is going to ask for an outrageous amount of money, so would you bring him back?
Yeah, I would bring him back. And, Michael, I'm not sure that Boros is going to ask for an unreasonable amount of money. Right, to this point, I wrote a column about Pete. I love Pete Alonso. I love his heart. I love his character. I love his talent, okay? And I want all good things to happen to him. But he's costing himself some money this season. And he's not having a horrible season. He's just not having a polar bear season. I mean, I looked it up the other day, and Stanton has a few more home runs in, 40 fewer games than Alonso has played this season. There's like 2 pages of guys who have 20 or more home runs in the big leagues this season. His comps right now, I'd have to look it up. I haven't looked it up in a few days, are like Naylor's for the Cleveland Guardians. If he had been dangerous all year long, and I keep, we all keep, Donnie and I, one week when you were here, Michael, we talked about it. He can carry a team for a month. Well, if he's going to carry him for a month, September would be a good month for him to do it because so far, by his standards, this has been an extremely quiet year for him. And, he's going to have some stuff working against him. It's the position he plays. He's about to be 30 years old. All of that stuff. I thought he'd go out and have a monster year. He's simply not having a monster year.
Now, I'm a Met fan. You know that. And I had my whole Ed Kranepool rant based on they don't have very many forever Mets. Even they lost Seaver twice. Strawberry left to go to the Dodgers. You know, David Wright was robbed of a great last 5 years of his career because of his bad back. Like, so am I wrong to think, you know what, I want to go maybe a little extra just to be able to have that guy to be able to put up stellar numbers for the New York Mets for his entire career and have a forever Met. And in a non-cap sport, even though there are restrictions to paying a lot of money, Mike, it's not football, it's not a hard cap. Would it be wrong for me as a Met fan to root for them to maybe go a little bit extra on him?
Yeah, I know. I have no problem with that. I want him to stay, Don. I mean, if you're a Met fan, here's what you're hoping for. And I had a column about this on Sunday about Soto. You picture Soto hitting in front of Pete next year the way Soto's hitting in front of Judge this year, because the overriding question, there's two overriding questions of this Yankee season right now, okay? One is Judge finally going to make it to the World Series? And the other one is Juan Soto going to stay or is he going to go? And the Yankees, the boogeyman for the Yankees, and anybody who has talked to anybody with the Yankees know this, is Steve Cohen. Because it's going to be very interesting to see when the time comes what kind of opening offer Hal makes for this guy. Is $500 million enough? Is $600 million enough? Knowing that there's a guy across town for whom money is no object. Cohen is the boogeyman here. I don't see how he cannot go after Soto. And we're going to find out just how much Juan Soto likes being a Yankee, likes hitting in front of the guy who's the greatest player in baseball right now. But more than that, and I'll ask Michael this. Michael, does he like it enough that he'd be willing to leave $100 million on the table?
I think he loves it, and I think he loves the relationship he has with the fans. He's not leaving anything on the table. When you have Scott Boras as your agent, there's a reason you have him as your agent. When you leave $440 million on the table on a team that you loved, that you came up through the system, the Nationals, you won a championship, and you walked away from $440, it's not going to be, gee, he loves hitting in front of Judge. It's just not, Mike. It's going to be about the money. If the Yankees offer the most money, I'll give you this, Mike. If they're close, I think he chooses the Yankees. But if it's not close, I'm not going to leave money on the table. He's just not.
And I'm going to throw, Mike, and Mike and Don Peter, let me throw another name at you, okay? There's Shohei Ohtani wants to win. There's a reason why he constructed his contract the way he did with the Dodgers. Don't count the Dodgers out of this, okay? Because right now they're not paying Ohtani all that much. They got to pay him a ton in 10 years. But don't think that they're not going to be a player in this too. And there's people who even think that the Nationals might get back into play. But the question is, in a world where Ohtani, even if a lot of it was deferred, just got $700 million, what is the number going to be for Juan Soto, who's younger? He's 4 years younger, I think, than Ohtani is. He's 6 years younger than Aaron Judge is, and Judge has got $360 million. This is going to be, I said to a friend of mine who's a Yankee fan yesterday, this has a chance to be the most compelling October that the Yankees have had in so long I can't remember. Certainly since the days when they were the greatest team and the baddest men on the planet. It's going to be an extremely compelling October, because we're going to find out whether they're just another Yankee team built for April through September, or they're one that can get to the end of October. And then the even more compelling story is going to be what happens with Juan Soto, and whether or not even them getting to the Canyon of Heroes is going to affect his thinking.
Yeah, it's funny because they could get to the Canyon of Heroes. They could win the World Championship. They're 28th. And then 2 weeks later, he can take an offer from another team, and your heart's ripped out. Now, you could also not get to the Canyon of Heroes and then sign him to a 15-year deal, and all of a sudden you're euphoric. So what happens in November is going to have a big impact on the type of winter the Yankees and their fans are going to have.
Mike, they did the absolute right thing. You could only imagine what this season would look like if they had not made the trade for Juan Soto. There's no way to tell whether Judge is doing everything he's doing, whether they have on occasion looked like this incredible powerhouse, other than that 133 game stretch. But they always knew that they were deferring the greatest drama in the world for another year. In that sense, they just kicked the can down the road for a year. And if they win the World Series, let me say this. If they win the World Series and he leaves, I still think it will have been worth it that they made the trade.
Staying here but moving somewhere else. I'm curious about this. We keep having this conversation about championships, Mike, and what they mean to a player's legacy. Just like Don asked you, or Michael asked you, I should say, about Judge and a championship and how he'll be viewed. In which sport do you think the championship can most appropriately be used as a measurement to one's greatness?
You know what? I think I want to say basketball, because in a five-man sport, one surpassing player having a Judge-like basketball season can impact his team's season even more than Aaron Judge is impacting. Football, yes, quarterback, except most of the greatest quarterbacks have won at least one title. I mean, Marino is a glaring exception, okay? And there's plenty of quarterbacks who have won who are not even in that conversation. But I tend to lean towards basketball. But a football quarterback, if Mahomes had never won, I mean, that's a ridiculous proposition, seeing what he's doing, because I think he might end up winning as many Super Bowls as Brady did. But Josh, look at the pressure that Josh Allen, who's great, is under. Okay, and look at what that day against the Chiefs. He scored with 13 seconds left,
13
or something
seconds,
like that.
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and look at how what happened next is informing the way that people look at this kid. Okay. And is Eli a better football player than Josh Allen? No. In the whole grand scheme of things, no. But Eli's got two, and Josh Allen is still working on number one.
How's the book doing before we let you go?
It's doing fine, Michael. We've had such fun with this. I just finished the final edits. Jim and I both finished the final edits for Jane Smith 3, which will be called Never Say Die, and it'll be out late next summer. And because we never close, Michael, the firm of Patterson and Lufica has already finished their 2026 book. So it's you can see that we have an awful lot of fun working together.
When are you headed to the Open?
I am not going to go to the Open because when I was watching them talk about the heat alert today, and I was sitting in my living room, I said, you know what? I think I feel a lot better than some of these tennis players do. No, I love the Open. I was still going to the Open when it was at Forest Hills. I will watch it passionately. The kid Alcaraz has gotten me jazzed about tennis all over again in a way I wasn't sure I was ever going to be again. And I'll tell you something else. I put this in my Sunday column, and I know we got to go. I am so hopeful, whether it's Francis Tiafoe or Ben Shelton or Tommy Paul or Taylor Fritz, if an American man could somehow be in the final in a week and a half, that would be the best possible U.S. Open for me, because it's just been too damn long for an American man to compete for our country's national championship.
Even as we watch them lose in straight sets to Alcaraz, it would still be amazing to see them get there.
Yeah, no, it's listen, who would have ever thought in 10 million years that when Andy Roddick won his Open over 20 years ago, that no American man would do it? It's a crazy proposition, especially in the time of the Williams sisters and especially Serena and Coco and everything, with what we've seen from American women tennis players. I want one guy to make a run.
Good stuff, Mike. We'll talk to you next week. We appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Have a great Labor Day weekend, guys.
You too. Big change in the NFL yesterday that we kind of glossed over. Want to talk about it and the significance of it as well. But first, Don wants to talk about Mazda.
The finest premium arena club in the world comes alive in Brooklyn. Welcome to Crown Club, the Brooklyn Nets' most exclusive club in Barclays Center. Featuring a menu curated by Major Food Group with Carbone classics and a world-class wine list. To learn more about premium memberships at Barclays Center, visit brooklynnets.com/crown-club.
Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Returning lessees can now lease a Ford Explorer for just $319 a month for 24 months, only at your local Ford stores.
When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Emergency plumbing? Done well. So the next time you have a project, leave it to the skilled pros and join the millions of homeowners who use Angie to care for their homes. Get started at Angie.com.
Pizza Hut just changed the combo game with the new My Hut Box. Starting at $6.99, it's the ultimate solo meal. Get a personal pan pizza or melts and your favorite side. Combo like you've never comboed before. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
You don't want to miss history on Yes, record-setting swings, and the Yankees' epic playoff push. To back. Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record. He's done it again. And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
Diversity is in our nature. Diverse cultures, identities, skills, and knowledge. Diversity is in nature, too. Biodiversity. Plants, animals, and ecosystems. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity...
Honey? But the gains are pumping.
Yeah, the market's closed.
Futures don't sleep in the after hours, bro.
Dad, is Mommy a finance bro?
She switched careers to make money for your weddings.
Ooh, penny stocks are blowing up. Sweetie, grab your piggy bank. We're going all in. Let me ask you, for your wedding, do you want a gazebo and a river?
I don't... What's a gazebo?
Something that your mother always wanted and never got.
Or you could give these different investment options a shot.
The right money moves aren't as aggressive as you think.
I'm keeping the vest.
Hi, I'm Greg. I live in Bloomington, Illinois. I'm not an actor. I'm just a regular person. Some people say, why should I take Prevagen? I don't have a problem with my memory. Memory loss is not something that occurs overnight. I started noticing subtle lapses in memory. I want people to know that Prevagen has worked for me. It's helped my memory. It's helped my cognitive qualities. Give it a try. I want it to help you just like it has helped me.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
You don't want to miss history on Yes.
Just marvel at what we're witnessing.
Record-setting swings and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
Back. Oh, ho, ho. Putting on a show.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
How much fun is it to watch him play every single day?
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
I have sickle cell. I've had lots and lots of blood transfusions over my lifetime. I'm most grateful that people are willing to go out there and take their time their blood and give me new life.
I'm an actor in an ad that was given 12 seconds to remind you that if you're high, just don't drive. Because if you feel different, you drive different. It's illegal to drive high everywhere anyway.
Your attention, please. You're watching Yes.
I don't know how many people saw this, and it's not a huge thing, but it could turn out to be something very big, where the NFL announced that, hedge funds could buy parts of teams, and they could buy up to 10%. And what that means is that you're going to see the value of franchises going up. You're going to see these funds invest in teams, help them build stadiums, help them with infrastructure, help them with practice facilities, and they get to say they own 10% of a team. And the bottom line is it's going to increase, because in the other sports, I think there's a limit of about 30% that those type of ventures could actually own. And now that the NFL's doing it, you watch. So what the last NFL team that sold was the Washington team. It was over $6 billion. Yeah. So imagine if Jerry Jones sold the Cowboys. So if you're going to get up to the point where it's going to be an $11 or $12 billion venture, you're going to need these venture capitalists to have to put their money in. I think it's going to go over 10% at some point.
Yeah, they had no choice, Michael. And I know it's an old club that's very difficult to get into, but you're starting to get to the point where there's only a handful of people that could purchase these teams when you start talking about $10 billion. And that's where we're heading towards, because the NFL is just so lucrative. And really, it's going to get to that point in all these sports, but especially football. When you see the Commanders sell for $6 billion, you know that the Cowboys, if they ever sold, would probably go for close to double that. There's only a handful of people that can do it. And I don't know if they want to start getting in the business where there's like 15 different people owning it. They want to be able to have a central figure. They get together. They're all on the same page. They're all sharing the revenue. They want to be able to like each other and know each other. But you're going to have to expand out to some people that aren't part of the old school club.
But
really, how else are you going to do it?
I don't even know why it's not allowed that 100% could be bought by venture capitalists, because in football, it's the one sport where you can't flaunt your money that much. It's a hard cap. They all make the same amount of money. So even if you have a fabulously wealthy person or a hedge fund, they can't blow the other people out of the water. Now, in baseball, Steve Cohen owns it personally, but he made his money in hedge funds. So he's worth $18 to $20 billion. That scares the tar out of every individual owner, because he can outspend every one of them. But if you're in a cap sport like the NBA and the NHL and the NFL, what does it matter? All it does is drive the price of these franchises up.
But they've been able to share all the revenue. And Jerry Jones has been kind of a pain in their butts, because he's the Dallas Cowboy owner, and there's a lot more that they can do. And I know he's fought them on some of the things that they share, where he feels like, hey, I'm the Dallas Cowboys. Shouldn't I be able to go out and get mine and not have to share it with you? But they've been able to keep Jerry under control. But I think they're afraid that there's going to be some guy that's not playing ball, that's going to own a team that maybe is in a big market, is going to say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to share this revenue. I've got something that I could sell, and I want to be able to sell it and not have to share it with you, and really be someone that's going to think outside the box. They don't want that. They want 32 owners who are all could sit at a table and all be of like mind. They can handle Jones. They're able to handle Davis. But those are old school guys that I think they were able to get in there. You get some 30-something that's worth $16 billion who decides, I'm not going to play ball with you guys. It really kills the structure of the NFL.
But I think that the structure of the NFL almost ensures that he can't kill it. They could try to make runs at it. But you look at Guggenheim Partners owning the Dodgers. That has changed the structure of Major League Baseball. I mean, Guggenheim Partners can outbid a family that owns a team. And Steve Cohen, with his $20 billion, can outbid a family that owns a team. I think that the future of sports is going to be these conglomerates are going to own these teams.
Oh, listen, it's not going to, I don't think it's going to affect the product on the field, Michael, but I just think they want to be able to share all the revenue. They don't want a renegade. I don't think the renegade's going to hurt the NFL, but they don't want a guy that's going to be that, where there is more value to owning the Dallas Cowboys or the New York Giants or Jets than there is owning the Jacksonville Jaguars. They want everything to be equal. And and just for their own selfishness, they don't want to have a renegade owner. Nothing's going to bring down the NFL. If Jerry Jones decided to make some extra money off of the star logo or other things because they're the Dallas Cowboys, that'd be more money in Jerry Jones' pocket. That would just tick off the other 31 owners. It wouldn't bring down the NFL. They just don't want somebody that's going to do that. In baseball, you're right. Cohen coming in here and buying up all the players is not good for their sport. But in football, you don't have to worry about that with the hard cap. Everybody's spending this. They just don't want somebody going out there using the NFL shield and just happening to have a bigger market team to be able to make more money than everybody else.
Well, reset your preset with ESPN New York. Show us you're listening by uploading a photo of a device playing the new 880 ESPN New York for a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Head to the contest tile on the ESPN New York app to enter. This week's giveaway is a 4-pack of tickets to Pearl Jam at Madison Square Garden on Wednesday, September 4th. Be sure to reset your preset to the new 880 ESPN New York. CC Sabathia joins us at 5. Hey, we had the appetizer last week. Now it's time to feast. College football is back. Don't miss any.
You don't want to miss History on Yes.
Just marvel at what we're witnessing.
Record-setting swings and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
Back to back to back. Oh, ho, ho. Putting on a show.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
How much fun is it to watch him play every single day?
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $199 a month. Or well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR when you finance with GM Financial.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
You know what Blue Chew is? You could boost your numbers if you took it.
Never heard of Blue Chew.
Blue Chew? Yeah, you know Blue Chew?
Yeah, so it's like chewable tablet things like...
Oh, girl, how do you know Blue Chew?
Her man.
Come on. And it made you like him more, right?
Absolutely. Or you could... Where do I get Blue Chew?
Oh, you want to know where you can get it now? Well, you can go online and get your first month free, actually, so...
Okay, I mean, can't say no to free month.
Would you date him if he took a Blue Chew?
I would have to go with a yes.
Look, you're in it, my boy.
Sounds like a date, man.
My boy.
Thank you, Blue Chew.
Your memory is an amazing thing, but sometimes it can start to slow down. But did you know Prevagen can help keep your memory sharp? The secret is the powerful ingredient apoaquarin, originally discovered in jellyfish and found only in Prevagen. In a clinical study, Prevagen was shown to improve memory in subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired. Stay sharp and improve your memory with Prevagen. Prevagen, in stores everywhere without a prescription.
to the Acura Summer of Performance event going on now.
All right, boys, who we betting on?
However you bet, whoever you are, the sportsbook for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
You want to win the division.
This is the battle of the American League East.
Don and Peter with you until 6:30. Yankees and the Mets playing tonight. It's time now for the Pinstripe Report, brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management. And this man was on the last Yankee championship team in 2009. He's back at Old Timers Day on Saturday. His first appearance as an old timer. And he joins us now on the show, and that is CC Sabathia. C, thank you for joining us.
No problem. What's going on?
Not too much. You pitched against a lot of great hitters in your career. Have you ever seen anybody doing, for an extended period of time, what Judge is doing right now?
No, I mean, I guess the only other person would be Barry, right? But, I mean, no, I mean, not on a scale where the baseball team that I'm watching, my favorite team every day, feels like it's a guy going deep or impactful, you know, double or something, you know, where he's impacting the game every single day. So, no, I mean, for a team that I've watched, you know, and been a fan of, no, I don't think there's ever been a player that, you know, I can say that I've watched daily that like Aaron Judge right now.
CC, how would you pitch to him?
Right now, you can't. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I don't understand why teams are pitching to him. I mean, you know, last night the Nationals had to pitch to him with the bases loaded, but outside of that, there's really nowhere you can throw the ball right now where he can't hit it out of the ballpark. And he's controlling the strike zone and controlling the plate so much that he's only swinging at pitches that he can actually barrel and slug. So there's really nothing you can do right now but hope that he hits the ball like he did last night really hard at the shortstop and, you know, it's at somebody.
All right, so on the flip side of that, the guy batting in front of him, CC, how would you pitch to Juan Soto? Because, you know, he's having an unbelievable year that's kind of dwarfed because Judge is having an historic year. What would you do with Soto?
I mean, kind of in the same boat, right? He controls the strike zone so well, too, that, you know, he makes you if I was facing Juan Soto, I wouldn't make him hit his way on base. Like, I definitely wouldn't want to walk him. I definitely wouldn't want to get him to any counts where he can control the strike zone or anything like that. I'm trying to throw something in the zone or right off of his barrel where I'm getting weak or soft contact, but early in the count, and, you know, definitely not trying to, you know, put him on base and let him walk where, you know, I have Judge and now I'm in trouble.
Does he seem, CC, does Judge seem any different from the kid that you met when he first got to this team?
No, and that's what's cool about him. You know, he's always been the same. And I think if you even, you know, talk to myself or Gardy or any of those older players on that team when he was younger, you could see the captain quality, right? Like he was, you know, destined to be the captain and the leader of the team. I don't think anybody could predict that he was going to turn into Barry Bonds, but I think we all knew that he had the quality to lead and to be able to go out and be the captain of his team.
What I find amazing, CC, is that any other ball player on any other team, we're appreciating the moment, but only in New York, only with the Yankees do we have to have the caveat of, but he hasn't won yet, or does he have to win a ring to be considered an all-time Yankee? You played for the Bombers and other organizations. Do you look at that as a curse or something really cool that there is a certain standard with the Yankees that doesn't seem to exist with other teams?
I think it's something that's really cool, you know, outside looking in. And I think, you know, guys like Derek or guys like Brett Gardner or guys like, you know, Aaron Judge that grow up in this culture, they don't know any different, right? Like they know that they need to win the World Series to be great because that's what every great Yankee has done. I think it's, you know, when you outside looking in, you're like, oh, you know, it's hard on these guys because the only thing that matters is October. But when you grow up in this culture, that's the only thing that matters. Every year, beginning of the season in February, the only thing that matters is us playing through October. And these guys live with that. They come up Yankees, Volpe's the same way. So, when you're in this organization, you come up in this organization, that's the way you think.
There's two things that happen in your career that I just, it blew me away and gained such an incredible amount of respect around the game. Number one was when you got traded to Milwaukee and you're going to be a free agent, and you took the ball, I think, 3 times on 3 days rest, despite the fact that you could get hurt. And the other one was in the game in Tampa Bay when you were, I think, an inning away from getting a $500,000 bonus, and you drilled somebody because they drilled one of your players. That just, you don't make that stuff up. And I just wondered your thoughts. Garrett Crochet of the White Sox, you know, he's coming back from an arm injury. He's having a great year, and people were going to trade for him. And he said, if I go anywhere, I'm not pitching in the postseason unless you give me a contract extension. So for a guy who actually went through that, what was your thought on that?
For me, I mean, you know, getting traded was the most devastating thing that could have happened to me, you know, at the time. You know, I had been in Cleveland, you know, for 11 years, 8 years in the big leagues. I was 17 when I got drafted, and, you know, I thought I was going to be in the organization forever. But, you know, when I got to Milwaukee and I walk in the clubhouse and it's Prince Fielder and Mike Cameron and my best friend Dave Risky at the time, all these different guys, you know, I realized that it's just baseball. And, you know, I felt good. I wanted to win. You know, the team wanted me there, and they were on the verge of making the playoffs. So it was a no-brainer for me to pitch, you know, on 3 days rest down the stretch because, you know, the ultimate goal was to try to win.
And you never thought about the money that you could lose if you got hurt? You never thought about that, CeCe?
You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about more money I could make if I pitched well.
Oh, okay.
You know, I wasn't thinking about the money that I could lose if I get hurt. I was thinking about if I pitch well in these games, you know, I can make myself more money because I didn't pitch well in pressure situations 2007. I won the Cy Young. You know, I didn't pitch well in the DS against the Yankees. I didn't pitch well in the ALCS. So I'm looking at this as an opportunity to show everybody, like, I can be a big game pitcher. So I want the ball as many times as possible because I feel like it was going to make me more money.
I never thought of it like that because I had heard rumors that your agent said maybe you shouldn't do this because you could get hurt, but you were trying to prove a point as well.
Oh, my agent wasn't talking to me at the time. He wouldn't even come to the game. He wasn't taking my calls. He wasn't coming to the starts or nothing. So he was pretty upset with me.
How crazy was it, going back to Old Timers Day? Did it hit you 15 years since 2009? How weird was that for you?
Yeah, it was weird. It was pretty cool though to be able to go back and kind of be celebrated. It was fun to be able to see all the guys, you know, AJ and Phil, and you know, I spent a lot of time with Derek. I see A-Rod, I see Posada, but to see all of these guys together in the same room again, it was a lot of fun, and it's cool to see how close we all still are, you know, and to tell the stories and to kind of reminisce, you know. But yeah, I mean, it felt like 15 years, you know. I feel like an old man. I could barely get up the stairs to get out of the dugout, you know. But it was a lot of fun to be back together and you know, be back with that crew.
You know, you were there for everything that happened with Alex at the end of his Yankee career and the, you know, suing the team and all that. Did you ever think, when he was going through that there would be a time where he would be welcomed back by the Yankees, be a part of it all, to be received the way that he was received, and kind of like a phoenix get out of the ashes from all the controversy he was under at the end of his Yankee career?
Yeah, to be honest, like when he and we were all going through that, I mean, it was just, you were just in the moment. You know, it was hard to think about, you know, 10 years later, 15 years later, or even down the line. But I think, you know, once you get removed from all of that stuff and you realize just how great of a player he was, just how much he meant to us in 2009, some of the big, you know, I mean, big hit after big hit, big home run against Joe Nathan, you know, big double against Brad Lidge. I mean, just the countless conversations that me and him had out on the field, you know, from third base to the pitcher's mound. Like, you know, he would be like, hey, this guy's swinging first pitch right here. You know, just a baseball savant. So I think it's awesome to see him, you know, come back, get his recognition, and you know, he's one of the best players to ever play baseball. So he deserves to be celebrated.
We're talking with CeCe Sabathia here on the Michael Kay Show. You told a great story on Yes when you were with us on Saturday that you didn't want anything to do with signing with the Yankees. That was the last place you wanted to be, and Brian Cashman kind of convinced you of the things that you'd end up loving it. And here you are, you're raising your family in this area. What would you tell Juan Soto right now? I mean, what should the Yankees be selling him on, CeCe?
You know what? I don't think they need to sell him on anything because he's here. Like, he can see it. He can feel it. Like, it's different when you put on the pinstripes and you win and you're playing well in the Bronx. I mean, this summer's been on fire. I mean, just looking at, you know, the celebrations and the amount of fun that they've had, I think for me it was different because I hadn't had that. I was coming from smaller market teams, and all I heard about was, you know, the rift that they had in the clubhouse, all the different things that you could have with the fans. I had just seen so many free agents coming in and not being able to, you know, live up to whatever expectations they had or the fans had for them. And, you know, I just didn't want to be a part of that. But, you know, sitting down and talking to Cash that offseason and really sitting down and talking to Amber, you know, it was the best decision that we could have made, you know. And if I could, you know, want to consider myself a winner and want to take on the challenge of trying to win every single time out, how could you not come to the Yankees? How could you not want to play in the Bronx? This is the only place that's proven that they want to win every single year. We may fall short, you know, but it's not because of lack of effort. And, you know, I think that, you know, when you're in that clubhouse and you put on those pinstripes and you start doing some cool stuff and you see your name next to Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth and all these different guys, you know, it's not hard to tell.
Now, I don't know, Don and Peter, I don't think they listened to the inning that you did with me and Paul on Saturday. And I've had so many people tell me, CeCe, wow, he's just so great on the air. Now, I know you do the alternate cast on the MLB Network, and that's something, obviously, in the broadcasting business, but you seem like you're such a natural in the booth doing a game. Have you ever given any thought to that at all?
I think I would love. I think I would have fun in the booth. I can't wear a suit. There's no way I'm wearing a suit to a baseball game. So if I could wear those shorts and that nowhere New York or nowhere shirt or some J's, I would definitely get in the booth. But I mean, it has to be. And I think that's why I created those clubhouse games and did those alternate casts on MLB. Just to do it in a way that, you know, I'm comfortable. And, you know, but I love baseball. I love, you know, watching baseball. I watch a lot of games. I love the Yankees. You know, I watch every single Yankee game. So, yeah, I mean, I think I could be good at it, but I don't think it's something that's for me right now.
All right, well, I have a little bit of a solution. See if it works for you. You ready? So, Girardi hates wearing a jacket and tie. Hates it. But he wears a jacket and tie for the Open, which is 30 seconds, and then he puts a polo shirt on after that. You can sit there in shorts during the game just for the Open with a jacket and tie and take it off. Does that work?
That might work because I did have on slacks for the ceremony, then I changed into shorts and T-shirt after. So
no, and the cheat code could be CC. You just leave a couple of shirts and ties at the booth. And then you don't even have to wear it to the building. That's the cheat code. By the way, CC, of course, does incredible work, and I'm always happy to get to work with him with the Pitch In Foundation. And the golf tournament is coming up in a couple of weeks, September 23rd from 10 to 6. If you're looking to maybe buy a team and get in there and support the great work of the Pitch In Foundation, you can go to Pitch In. That's PITCCH in.org.
Cool. Now, CeCe, I want to get back to A-Rod for just a second. Would you like to see it all come full circle and maybe him end up in Monument Park?
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, but that's not up to me. You know,
if it were up to you,
as a teammate, yes. Obviously, I mean, you know, he's, like I said, I mean, somebody asked me the other day who's the best player that you ever played with, and it's hands down A-Rod. It's not even a question. So, yeah, I mean, if, you know, you leave it up to me, I think he deserves to be in every Monument Park and everywhere.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it was great being in the booth with you and Paul. It was great to see the reaction that the fans gave you on Saturday. I hope you had a good time at Old Timers Day. And thank you for coming on with us, and thank you at the tournament. Good luck with the tournament coming up as well.
No problem. I'm trying to get my swing together, Peter. So I'm trying to shoot even on the tournament day. So I appreciate you plugging it.
Listen, relative to me, you're fine. Wait, and by the way, CeCe, one more random question. When I saw you in Cleveland and we ran into each other, was Kenny Lofton at dinner?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. That was Kenny Lofton.
So I run into CeCe. It turns out CeCe and Amber, he was doing an event in Cleveland, as he's wont to do, right? And I happen to be there, and I hear that they're having dinner down the street. I stop by, and a bunch of people are there that I know, and then CeCe's like introducing me. Oh, this is Kenny. And I'm looking at him, and we're having a conversation. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is the icon Kenny Lofton. That was dope. Great seeing you, man. Thanks for jumping on.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You got it. I think we made some progress there.
Oh, no, we've done it.
Because all you have to do is wear the jacket and tie on the Open. That's it. We're not on camera after that.
I remember, because that trick of dress shirt was how, when I was trying to force myself out of being a sloppy pig like Ray from South Carolina.
North Carolina.
Whatever. When Ray from North Carolina said that, the original trick that I had was I just started leaving, collar shirts in my locker here. And that was the beginning.
Because O'Neal doesn't put the tie on until we're about to tape the Open. So he's walking around with an open collar shirt, and then he puts the tie on, and then he takes it off. I keep it on all the time because I feel that a tie covers your gut a little bit. You know what I mean?
No, I get it. I know those tricks. Yeah. By the way, guys, I got to tell you something.
What?
Kenny Lofton, great guy.
You liked him?
A big fan. Lovely, regular guy. We spent a lot of time talking about basketball, actually. Very knowledgeable about basketball.
Very good player.
Very good player from my childhood. Kenny Lofton was the man.
Anyway, that was the Pinstripe Report brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management. For pain-free life, visit SamwellPain.com today. The world's in a good place, Peter. You asked CeCe to come on, and he came on. He was on with us during the game. It's all, and I'm not just blowing smoke, and I know you guys didn't watch it, but he was so good on the air.
Well, you can hear it even right there. He does what the best players turned analysts do, which is speak honestly without any airs, pay attention and know the game, and and just be good at communicating. Like, he has all of the basic skills down. Like, he's not trying to be fancy. He's not pretending to be someone else. He's a really knowledgeable guy and has the perspective of a player, and he knows how to communicate it without trying to fluff it up too much.
And I think that today's players look up to him, so he's going to have a portal into talking to them and telling stories. It's going to be great. Can't let a tie stand in the way.
That could happen. If I was a betting man, I'd say this could happen at some point soon.
But you're not a betting man.
No. Well, if I was, though.
But you're not.
Well, sometimes I am.
Okay.
Sundays, FanDuel, you know what I'm talking about.
Of course,
Promo code Peter.
Let's go to Bill in Red Hook. Bill.
Hey, how are you guys? Love the show.
Thanks, man.
The thing that I want to talk about or ask you guys about, I want to ask you, is what do you think the ramifications are going to be about this playoffs with Aaron Judge being walked all the time? Because it's not going to end there. It's going to go to Bob Amel, and they're going to have to change the rules, or at least in my opinion. And one last thing I want to say is, Don, I got to call my lawyer. You're going to give me a heart attack. I'm the guy who argued with you 6 years ago about Namath. All I got to say is September 24th, 1972. And guys, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it, because I really think that's going to be I think they're going to change not only intentional walks, but walks in the next couple of years. Because like you said, the hedge funds, does baseball want to see their best players not play in the playoffs?
Yeah, but I hear, we talked about this a lot over the last couple of weeks, Bill, and I understand your concern, but there have been a lot of great players in baseball, and only one of them got intentionally walked a lot, and that's Barry Bonds. I mean, they weren't intentionally walking Don Mattingly. They weren't intentionally walking Ohtani. I mean, the key is when you've got a great player like that, you have people behind them that make you pay when you walk them. You look at the Royals. The Royals have a pretty good lineup. They've got people behind Bobby Witt that forces you to at least try to pitch to Bobby Witt. Now, I agree with CeCe. I don't know why anybody pitches the Judge. But of late, Stanton's made them pay. Wells has made them pay over the last 30 games. So I think one of the biggest keys to not having Judge pitched around is Soto on deck or Soto being on first. Because Soto works so many walks, has an on-base percentage of close to 500. Don, Peter, he's on first base. That kind of ties your hands of walking Judge. That's as much of a deterrent as having somebody great hitting behind him.
See, that was the thing, is that it's not as much a baseball problem as it is a Yankee problem. You know, you've got to have protection in that lineup. You've got to have other guys to be able to hit. And if Stanton is going to hit and if Soto's going to get on, then you're not going to have the luxury of pitching around Aaron Judge. Last night they had the bases loaded. What are they going to do, Michael? Bases loaded.
You got to pitch to him.
1 out. You got to pitch to him. There's no other way around it. So how the Yankees perform ultimately is going to decide whether they pitch to him or not, and it becomes more of a Yankee problem than it is a baseball problem. And the caller is also, I looked it up just to confirm, but I knew what he was talking about. That was that shootout that the Jets had with the Colts and Johnny Unitas, that Namath went off, and I'm trying to get his stats, that Joe Namath threw for 496 yards, 6 touchdowns, and an interception. Okay, that's a game. Nobody's saying that Joe Namath wasn't a good player, Michael. He was a fabulous player. But if they lose to the Colts and he doesn't make his guarantee, he's not going to the Hall of Fame.
I think you might be right. I really think you might be right. Jack in Connecticut. Jack.
Hey, thank you very much for taking my call. I appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks for making it.
The thing that I wanted to talk about is that the importance of a ring versus the greatness of the player. And I throw a name out to you guys, Jim Luskatoff. I don't know if any of the three of you know who that was.
Basketball, right?
Basketball. He got 7 rings, and he got it because he was the backup to Bill Russell. So, I mean, does he take precedence over a guy who never won a ring?
Well, Robert Ory, too. Robert Ory's like the modern-day guy. Bounced around, always seemed to be at the right place at the right time to win a ring.
Hit some big shots, though. Robert Ory did hit some big shots.
Yeah, no,
Ory wasn't his backup.
But he's not. But nobody's going to make him one of the great players of all time.
Exactly. So why are people judged by the number of rings that they have then? Frank Crissetti had 8 rings and Yogi Berra had 10. I mean, does that make Crissetti a top Yankee? I don't think so. He was a great coach and things like that.
You are starting to, in defense of the people that weight the rings, I mean, you are picking guys that were backups that happen to be in the right place at the right time. It is, I think, a great tiebreaker when you have 2 very equal players and one's got 5 rings and one has none. I can understand maybe siding with the guy that's got the 5 rings, but I need to see what all that looks like. How much did they contribute? Or did they hit a big shot? Would they have won the championship without him? So I think we get lazy sometimes with the rings. Sometimes you got to look at the numbers.
See, I think that you're so right, though, Don. I mean, we have eyeballs, so we can actually watch how that ring is attained. And some people have a big part of a ring. I mean, Clay Bellinger has a ring. Homer Bush has a ring. Does that make them better than Ted Williams? No. You have to see. You have to watch. You have to see how they contribute. Paul O'Neill. Derek Jeter's 5 rings mean something. And I'm not saying that Homer Bush and Bellinger don't, but you don't just give a ring and say it's each ring is not equal to the other ring, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's so... And listen, he didn't win all of them, but I don't know if you ever remember, Michael, that Don Baylor played in 3 straight World Series with 3 different teams. He was on the 86 Red Sox, he was on the 87 Twins, he was on the 88. Be the right place at the right time. Sometimes you just got to be on the right team, and sometimes you're just on the wrong team. But if there's a guy that, listen, if Judge's numbers never get any better than what they've been in the postseason, if he plays the next 10 years, they go to the playoffs 8 times, and he's still like a 211 hitter, then I could see where it's not gonna look great for him. But there's also a chance that he can hit like Stanton did a couple of years ago, and you still lose in the first round. Look at Munson's 76 World Series numbers, Michael, right? They couldn't get him out.
Right.
There's the film footage of Sparky Anderson going out, why we can't get that SOB out. The Reds swept the Yankees. Is that Thurman Munson's fault?
1-800-919-3776. There's a new sports app that's coming out in New York. It was just announced as we were talking to CC Sabathia. I'll tell you what that is when we come back right here on Yes and on 880 ESPN New York.
That's Aaron Judge. Yeah.
Sometimes you get the feeling you're watching a Hall of Famer right in the middle of his prime.
The captain is rolling.
need a longer tape measure.
A monster blast. See ya. Wow.
The Bronx. DX. Now streaming on the Yes Network.
2 words. Get here.
Go on an epic journey through the Bronx.
The Bronx is a really great place. It's a dynamic, vibrant borough with lots going on.
We're the only borough where you can say the, like, we're that.
The Bronx is a community rich in tradition, culture, and love.
It's absolutely breathtaking.
Stream a new season of Bronx Beat, now on the Yes app.
Matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Hi. Deprioritized. But it's a work call. Oh, a work call? Deprioritized.
T-Mobile home internet relies on cell phone towers, so when their network gets busy,
Not the fridge. Come on.
you can be deprioritized.
It's too bad. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Forget T-Mobile cell phone internet. Get home internet that puts you first. Get Spectrum.
You don't want to miss history on Yes. Record-setting swings and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
To back.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
When you see all the people who work at Shriners Hospitals for Children, you might see everyday people just doing their job. But to me and other kids, they aren't just receptionists, therapists, or doctors. They're superheroes. But these superheroes are only able to help all of us kids because of the support of people just like you who empower their abilities so we get the care we need to live our lives like super kids.
Because of people like you, I can play.
Experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Returning lessees can now lease a Ford F-150 for just $299 a month for 24 months, only at your local Ford stores.
Stay ahead of your moderate to severe eczema and show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
This is the GMC Sierra, powered by the TurboMax engine, with the confidence of 430 pound-feet of best-in-class standard torque. GMC Sierra, it's the truck. Get 1.9% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models, or current eligible GMC owners get over $7,800 total value. We are professional grade GMC.
You don't want to miss history on Yes.
Just marvel at what we're witnessing.
Record-setting swings and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
To back. Oh, ho, ho. Putting on a show.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
How much fun is it to watch him play every single day?
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person.
Never, ever give out your Medicare number. Just hang up.
I check my Medicare statements monthly.
To report Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
Well, once again, guys and gals, we sell books. So this is Ian O'Connor's tweet from about a half hour ago. I wanted a 5th New York Times bestseller before my 60th birthday and got it with 8 hours to spare. We debuted at number 5.
Nice.
Thanks to all of you and to Aaron Rodgers for being such a compelling figure and all-time great quarterback. So they came out at number 5. Pretty good. 5-time New York Times bestseller. So congratulations to our friend Ian and an early happy birthday.
Well, it's a terrific book. Everything he does is great. There's something about great writing that almost transcends the subject matter. Now, in this case, you got both because the subject is so fascinating in Aaron Rodgers and all that. But then you add the greatness of the writer. It's a terrific book.
All right, this just came out, made public at 5 o'clock while we were talking to Cece. Gotham Advanced Media and Entertainment, GAME, the digital joint venture between MSG Networks and the Yes Network, formed earlier this year, will launch the Gotham Sports app this fall to the NBA and NHL regular seasons. The app will house MSG Plus and the Yes app under one roof, becoming the exclusive regional TV everywhere and direct-to-consumer streaming home of each programming service, featuring the New York Knicks, the New York Rangers, the New Jersey Devils, the New York Islanders, Buffalo Sabres, the Brooklyn Nets, and the New York Yankees. So fans within MSG Networks and Yes's respective regional coverage territories who are authenticated MSG Network and Yes subscribers through their respective traditional pay TV providers will receive the Gotham Sports app at no additional cost. So that's pretty cool. One app, all of those teams will be made available.
Beautiful. It's a game changer. Really is a game changer.
So if in short, without all the legalese, if you're in an area where you get Yes and you get MSG, you get the app for free. Now, if you want to be direct to consumer and get the Gotham app, the MSG Plus and Yes package, monthly it's $41.99 to get all of those games, and annual it's $359.99. So there you have it.
There's a lot to offer there for sure. You just rattle off a bunch of teams.
Oh my God! Look at the teams you get.
It's everything.
It's everything.
Everything a Jazz.
So, the Gotham Sports app, it's going to come out toward the end of September. So right before hockey and basketball at the end of the Yankees season as well.
Perfect.
We tell you about that. Interesting, right? So that is a combination pricing deal between these two apps and these two companies, and it's top of the line stuff. It's going to be a great app with supposed to be crystal clear stuff, and love it. So now maybe Mike Breen now will do a Yes game with me, and I'll do a Nick game with him.
Can that happen?
Who knows? I mean, now everybody's lovey-dovey and in business together. Well, it's not like Venue Sports or anything like that. It's just the Yes app and the MSG Plus app and all of the things you get on either of those apps now combined on this great Gotham app.
It's interesting, Mike. I was thinking about this the other day, since we now have a relationship with the Mets, and the Yankees certainly have expanded their broadcast play-by-play people this year. If maybe I might be able to, at some point, do an inning or two.
You mean do a Yankee game?
A Met game.
Oh, a Met game.
A Met game.
Oh, wow. So you're looking at Bigfoot, Pat McCarthy, and Keith Radd is what you're doing.
It's Pete McCarthy, not Pat. I don't know who this Pat McCarthy is.
Pete McCarthy.
I'm sorry. No, I'm just, I'd like to promote the show, kind of step in. Maybe there's a day somebody's off.
So you're looking for somebody to be sick?
No. Never mind. You know what? I don't think it's right. I'm going to lay out.
No,
because this will get back to certain people the way Michael wants it to go, and now I'm going to look like a jerk. Did you hear, Michael? The Don wanted Pete McCarthy to get botulism so he could do an inning. That's not what I said.
No, Don, why don't you talk to me? Why don't we do the right thing and something that would make sense? And that is something like, hey, an opportunity now that we're going to be partners together doing the radio show on the same station as the Mets, and maybe there's an early season or spring training game where our show does a game. It's not that crazy.
No. But I wouldn't think it is. But I'm not. But Michael said I'm Bigfooting, and I don't want a Bigfoot. I don't want a fat hand. I don't want a Bigfoot.
No. You know, that's what they call you, fat hand and Bigfoot.
I thought you were going to ask to be, on a Yankee broadcast, maybe do a full spring training game.
Well, we've tried that.
Well, I mean, that was during COVID. We're all in 3 different places.
We've come up eggs.
Yeah, I mean, which is harder to do. Instead of just flying us down like gentlemen to a game down in Florida where we can do and promote the show and do all that.
Oh,
I mean, honestly, Michael, it wouldn't be the craziest thing the Yankees have done lately. So I don't.
Some would say the least crazy.
Right, we're already a part of the network. And we're not asking for an actual series. We're not asking for,
God forbid,
a regular season game. We're just saying, like, down in Florida, I did a show down there. Remember when the Rangers were in Tampa?
Yeah, it got great reviews, too.
Everyone was talking about it.
Everybody was very happy to see me. I didn't walk in there and people were like, oh, my God, Don's here. They were like, hey, Don's here.
Right. Even Judge was nice to you, right?
I did not see Aaron.
Well, Aaron Boone, that's right, yeah.
Judge, Boone, they're all Aarons.
I went into his office, but then we broached it with him on the air, and he didn't seem like he remembered or cared.
Oh, do we have that? That was an unfortunate moment.
That was an unfortunate.
That was really tough. That was.
I talked to Volpe that day. He knew who I was. Very receptive.
Love it. Love it.
I think for being a Met fan, I think I'm very received at within the Yankee community.
I believe so
as
well.
Why not? You're a good guy. You're a professional. You don't take cheap shots. That's something.
I try to be fair.
Peter does that. Let's go to Jordan and Merrick.
Oh, my God. I'm on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you are. Sure you are.
How's it going?
Good.
I wanted to talk about Austin Wells not playing every day.
Mm-hmm.
And Jose Trevino, like, what I saw yesterday was just, like, we look like a complete different team when he's playing.
Well, I mean, Jordan, you know that there's not a catcher in the existence of the world that plays every day. It's just not the way it's...
I understand that, but we're trying to win the division here. Right. I mean, he can't be throwing balls in the center field like that.
Well, I mean, if you watch that game, Jordan, the defense didn't do him any favors. There was a bad tag by Chisholm at third. They didn't cover at second base. Volpe and Gleyber Torres didn't cover second, so there was nobody there. That's why the ball went in center field. Now, has he been throwing the ball great? No, he has not. But 2 years ago, he was the Platinum Glove winner in the American League. So I love that he's got to play every day. No one plays every day. Yogi didn't play every day. Thurman didn't play every day. That's why there are 2 catchers on a team. To think that Austin Wells should play every day, it's physically impossible. Now, should they be playing him a lot more than Trevino? Absolutely. Just because of his bat. Forget about defense, because of his bat. I mean, he is a real threat. He's batting cleanup or fifth in your order. Trevino is not. So, yeah, he should be playing the majority of the time. But to say he should play every day, here's a little secret. You probably don't know the game. Catchers don't play every day. JT Realmuto is a horse. He doesn't play every day.
Now, is it too late to try to get him the first?
I guess it's too late, right? I guess it's too late.
Has he ever done it in any capacity?
I've seen him take ground balls.
Now, it could be a disaster. It didn't work for Mike Piazza. It's not an easy thing. Everybody makes it seem like first base is like where you put the guy with no glove. But there is an art to it. And if you've never done it before, you can cost teams games. But I don't know if he did it in the minor leagues at all.
No. Well, the funny part is that in the minors, the knock against him was he wasn't a very good defensive catcher. He's proven to be a pretty good defensive catcher. So, Ben Rice learned to play first base on the run. But, Aaron Boone spoke with the media about 45 minutes ago and said the doctors have cleared Rizzo. So there's a chance he's back this weekend for the weekend series at the stadium against the Cardinals.
You think it'd be that quick?
It could be that quick. So all of a sudden, first base is done. He's going to be your first baseman.
He's played at least 2 games with Somerset. It might be more. I know he played the last 2. So I don't know how much time you need It's Double-A pitching. I don't know how long is usually a rehab stint down there for a hitter. And he homered last night.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Everybody is different. I mean, look at Stanton. He didn't take one rehab at bat. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm sure that Anthony wants to be back soon.
From these injuries, man. That must be pretty cool to go. Listen, I've gone to games. It's a great place to go. You know how I feel about Somerset, but to be able to see actual Yankees playing, that's awesome.
Let's go to Mike in Texas. Mike.
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Michael, Don, Peter, big fan of the show. Are you guys doing well?
Everything's great.
Absolutely. Love to hear it. So I have 2 questions. Try to make this quick. I know that Aaron Judge, he always gets compared to Derek Jeter, and rightfully so. Great person, leader, captain, but as a player, to me, I think his comp is a lot more like A-Rod. Obviously, the postseason stats definitely line up with each other. Judge's career playoff OPS is it's almost 240 points below his regular season OPS. So my first question is, how important is this particular postseason for Aaron Judge? And in terms of his Yankee legacy, trying to capitalize on potentially this being his only year with Juan Soto as his teammate. And second is, if Stanton or Wells go through a lull again, would you guys think it would be a decent idea to flip him and Soto in the lineup to get Judge to see a few more pitches to hit and a few more ABs? Thanks, guys.
Well, I'll answer your second question first. Before they started to hit, I actually had brought that up to Aaron Boone in a press conference, and he said it's something that they would look at. And I think that you should flip-flop them, but at this point you don't have to, because the guys hitting behind them are doing just that. Now, in terms of an important postseason, you just heard what CeCe Sabathia said. Every postseason is important. So if this is the only postseason with Juan Soto, yeah, I guess it adds more urgency. But one thing I'll tell you about Alex Rodriguez, after the first 3 games against the Red Sox in 2004, he did not hit in the postseason again until 2009. And you know what? He pretty much carried them single-handedly to that World Championship. So it can all be erased with 1 year. Does that have to be this year? Does it have to be next year? Could it be 3 years from now? If he continues to not hit in the postseason, yeah, that's going to be a problem on his legacy. But, I mean, he's got a lot of years ahead of him. It doesn't have to be this year.
Right. But now, affecting some sort of a record-breaking season, I could see a Yankee fan maybe not celebrating what could be an amazing 2024 as much if he goes out there and does nothing in the postseason. But we need to see that happen.
1-800-919-3776. Peter, I know you've got some important words for us.
I'm glad you brought it up, Michael. It's an important message.
Here comes the heat.
Say hello to the Bronx Buds, Yes's first ever animated series for the whole family.
And the crowd goes wild.
Now streaming. Join Riv, Bash, Oscar, and the rest of their gang for a baseball adventure around the Big Apple.
Bronx Pride is on the line.
HexLab presents Bronx Buds. Now streaming exclusively on the Yes app. Powered by Buy-Cow Auto Mall.
Magnifico.
I'm Dave Portnoy, and I'm asking for your help in supporting the Tunnel to Towers Foundation as it continues to pay off the mortgages for fallen first responder and Gold Star families who died in the line of duty and left behind young children. Not only that, but they also build mortgage-free smart homes for catastrophically injured veterans and have recently committed to eradicating homelessness amongst our veterans. Tunnel to Towers has been caring for America's greatest heroes for more than 2 decades, and we ask you to join us on our mission to do good.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years. When I have customers come in and ask for something for memory, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription. And I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really worked so good for me. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
You don't want to miss History on Yes, as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record, and the battle for the AL East reaches a fever on Yes and the Yes app.
Monster shot by Aaron Judge. The Bronx Bombers are up today, and the Yankees are not done yet. There it goes. See ya.
Yankees Nationals tonight. Coverage begins at 6, only on Prime.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
You don't want to miss History on Yes.
Just marvel at what we're witnessing.
Record-setting swings and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
Back to back to back. Oh, ho, ho. Putting on a show.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
How much fun is it to watch him play every single day?
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
My daughter Natalie was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma. She was my only daddy's girl. When I walked in the door, she was the first one to run and give me a hug. By the time we realized that she was sick, it had grown into about a softball-sized tumor and spread through her bone marrow, her lymph nodes.
We thought we were losing our daughter. And then when we came to St. Jude, everything changed. I see these massive jumps in what can happen for children and families from the work that's being done here at St. Jude. And we have doctors here who are working on that research right now.
I hope they can keep going and keep doing the research and keep advancing all the treatments so that kids don't have to deal with this anymore.
At St. Jude, there was hope.
Hope changes everything.
Don's going to rip me for this. I'd like to remove myself from consideration. I don't even want to be part of this anymore.
Oh, why can't you just be happy?
Wait, yeah. Hold on. I finally somehow get one with Anthony around, which doesn't ever happen. And rather than just go, yeah, that's right.
No,
you have to just, you know what, all over.
Yep. ESPN New York has a new dial position on 880 AM with all the same coverage of your favorite teams on DiPietro and Rothenberg, Barton Hahn, and the Michael Kay Show. And now, ESPN New York is the radio home of your New York Mets. 880 ESPN and the ESPN New York app. Your city, your teams, your ESPN New York. Let's go to Jared in Long Island.
Oh, hey, Jared.
Hey, Michael. And everyone else. I've called in a few times, and I've actually met you once, so I don't want to get on your bad side. I just have one critique when you're calling games. So, like, let's say somebody hits a home run. When they're about to cut to commercial, you do, like, the little end of the inning recap. Mm-hmm. So you say, and when that ball lands, the Yankees take a 3-0 lead. But really, it's when that ball, when that player crosses the plate. So it's not a big deal. Just always bothered me a little bit.
It's totally irrelevant because you know exactly what I mean. So you're being Mr. Literal.
No, I know, but like 99% of the time, it doesn't matter. But there is
100% of the time it doesn't matter. So I don't say it on a base hit where a guy's scoring from second. If a ball clears the wall, I'm assuming other than like a massive stroke, the guy is going to end up crossing home plate. So I kind of have fun with it, Jared, and I go when the ball and when it lands, the Yankees are up 1-0. I'm sorry if that bothers you. I will continue to do it.
Wait, pretend. I need you to explain what this man just said again, because...
Well, okay. So, let's say Aaron Judge hits a home run in the first inning. All right?
Very likely.
So, then we do, at the end of the inning, we'll do a rollout where we'll show the home run again. Mm-hmm. And I said, Judge hits one 425 feet to left field, and when that ball lands, the Yankees lead 1-0. And then we go to break. He's saying that's not really true. They lead 1-0 when Judge touches home plate.
But it's when you're going to break.
Right.
So he's already
touched home plate.
It's literally just an intentional, goofy thing to be cute.
No, that's not cute. That's almost troubling.
I know.
No, you.
Listen,
I mean, what you're saying is just having fun. When you're going to break, you're simply saying...
We're showing the ball go over the wall, not
you're
touching home
reiterating
plate.
that it was a blast. That's it.
Listen, take it from somebody that is awkward, and I did struggle speaking to women when I was younger.
Not anymore, though.
But just go over, talk to them. They're not going to bite you. So there's a chance that they will be receptive to your conversation and date you and go to a movie, go to dinner, and see what happens. Your life is going to open up, man. I'm telling you. And little things like that bothered you won't bother you anymore.
Well, I heard that Jared was on a date last week, right?
Right.
So he was sitting there with Juanita, and he was talking, and he said, Michael Kay, when they roll the break, and he says the ball crosses the wall, and when it lands, it's 1-0, he's really wrong. And because it's when he crossed home plate. Then Juanita said, you know what, I hear you, I got to go to the bathroom. And Juanita never came back.
Right. Well, there's that version, and there's the version of it's not really a date when she's tied to the chair. It's called an abduction.
See, I didn't want to go there, Peter.
No, but I'm going to go there because really it's that level dumb.
That was really, maybe he was just a troll. He wanted this to happen.
Maybe
funny. This was the conversation.
Then troll. Like, it didn't hit really the way the guy wanted
Really, it didn't bother me at all because I think it's a brilliant way to go to break.
But the guy that was the Met fan who pretended to be a Yankee fan to get on the air, like, he was trolling. Now, it didn't hit, but you got the sense that he was trying to do something there. Right? You knew he wasn't stupid. He was just trolling. This guy, I hope he was trolling, but I don't think so, Michael. I think that really bothers him.
I don't think it was trolling.
And that's what I'm saying. If that's bothering you, man, you got to just open up your horizons. Watch a good documentary. Take a walk. Buy a bike. Something.
You think a bike would solve the problem?
I bought a bike, and it's really...
Wait, you just recently bought a bike?
I did buy a bike. There's a bike store literally across the street from my house that was going out of business.
Right.
And
I've been to your house. There's houses across the street from your house. There's no bike store.
On the corner, there's a bike store. It's a deli, and next to the deli's a bike store, and I bought a nice bike, and I night ride. It brings back memories like before I had my driver's license, riding around the peace and quiet of the darkness, no traffic.
Please don't
It's a great way to get some exercise.
Please don't get run over. Are you wearing a helmet?
Yes, Nancy made me. I did not. I bought the bike without the helmet, and Nancy made me go back to get the
And do you have reflectors and everything?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I don't want to get that phone call.
I got baseball cards and the spokes and everything, Michael. This is put Pee Wee Herman to shame.
Yeah, that's interesting. Peter, does this surprise you?
No. Not at, well, nothing surprised me anymore, Don.
Were you wearing the bike helmet? Does it look anything like when you do the harness racing?
Probably has to look a little bit like it.
Because I bought a helmet that fits. That day, they didn't have a helmet that fits.
Super
You
troubling.
should know what it's like to not be able to have a helmet that fits.
Can we get a picture maybe to run tomorrow?
I'll come in with it. I'll show you what it looks like.
You're going to drive the bike from Jersey to the studio?
It's a Jamis, Jamis. It's like it's not a mountain bike, but it's like a hybrid.
How much did you spend for it?
Yeah, how much you
$400.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, it was on sale.
You know how much people are spending on these bikes, man? These real bike riders. Do you guys have any idea?
No.
People who really cycle, like it's what they do. Your car prices, man. 10 grand, 8 grand. You know, $7 grand for the frame, $4 grand for the wheels, and it's the amount that Ebro has spent on his bike situation is mind blowing.
I don't want to ride a bike with the kids. So I just
You're not looking at you're not trying to go 700 miles.
Do you have training wheels, or can you balance on a two-wheeler?
Well, why? Why this?
In fact, I can ride, and I don't even have to have my hand on the handlebars.
I'm not good at that. You know what? I rode a city bike today, though.
How'd that go?
It was fine. It was fine. Yeah, exactly. It was fine. I will tell you, though, they've really sucked the exercise out of the city bike. Now, it makes it good for the purposes of, like, you need to get from point A to point B, but they're all basically motorcycles. You push the pedal once, Don, and they're electric. You just start going.
No, the city bikes, they're electric?
The city bikes are all, like, half electric now. So you pedal, but, like, it's like you're Bionic Man pedaling. One pedal, you know what I'm saying?
And that doesn't come with a helmet. You were helmetless, right?
Today I was helmetless. I don't generally do that, but I was out and about, and it was the easiest way, so if it was like 10 blocks, and I did it. But, man, I got to tell you, the city bike cost me almost as much as a cab. It was $10, $4.79 unlock fee.
Wow. Now,
what a world,
I'm thinking
Michael Kay would say.
Right? Don, you're riding tonight. You got the reflectors on. You're going through an interception. You get T-boned. Obviously, you're going to be in a lot of pain. What would you do if that, God forbid, happened?
I don't feel good about reading this spot.
You don't want to miss History on Yes.
Just marvel at what we're witnessing.
Record-setting swings and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
Back to back to back. Oh, ho, ho. Putting on a show.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
How much fun is it to watch him play every single day?
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
Breaking news and a surprise contender in the marathon.
Yes, Rachel, someone has caught up to the front. He's carrying a fridge.
Something remarkable has just happened. Talk about keeping your eye on the ball. What's happening courtside?
From half court. He got it.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. Over to baseball. Richmond's going to win.
There's no way. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Mel. Is now good for a quick catch-up on your plan?
Yes, now's great.
Has anything changed since we last spoke?
You know what? Yes, I'm thinking more long-term.
Great. We'll make that change to your plan and adjust as needed.
This helps a lot.
Bye, Mel.
Bye. Make sense of your money with Citizens.
to the Acura Summer of Performance event going on now.
Listen, I spotted it from the start. Breaking didn't even have a name yet. All that potential, just waiting to burst free. I think about every battle. Kids from the South Bronx who didn't just knock on the door, they kicked it down. And today, what I saw in us is the same thing I see in you. It's your time. It's all about spotting it early. And if you do, no victory is out of reach.
Feel October in the air today.
These games mean something. You want to win the division. The crowd is pumped up. So much at stake.
This is the battle of the American League East.
It's easy to stay safe online. Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
You don't want to miss history on Yes, as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record, and the battle for the AL East reaches a fever pitch on Yes and the Yes app.
Welcome to ENN. Rayro. Yeah, we are on Tiwi and Rayro. ENN tonight's brought to you by our friends at Security Dodge. Go see Michelle Scalisi.
Come get some.
Yeah.
I'd like to start off by saying good evening to Michael.
Do you think that I'm losing it, that like midway through that call, I almost started to cry?
And to Don.
Watch a good documentary. Take a walk. Buy a bike. Something.
And to myself. We're glad to have you.
Oh, clean day.
Clean day for me. I like that.
And he got point guard.
We're glad to have you.
That's a nice day. That's a full day.
Now, you want to talk about a full day. Do you see what's in my hand here? Do you see this hog that's in my hand here, Michael?
No, I don't see.
Don's wonderful mother, Jay, had Don over today and asked if she could buy lunch for everybody, and Don said, well, Michael won't be with us, but Peter will be, and she bought me a sub. Where'd she get this from?
Angelina's.
So she got
over on Lafayette.
She got me a sub from Angelina's.
That's really sweet.
Isn't that sweet?
Yep.
So you know what I'm going to do?
Eat it.
The right thing. I'm going to open this daddy up. I mean, it's like a factory burrito from Cheesecake Factory.
What kind of sandwich is that?
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm open. I'm taking a look. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, this is called Jersey. This is called a Jersey sandwich. Not on the Italian side, just on the sandwichy side.
Right.
Turkey, standard issue cheese. Looks like double slices.
Could be like a yellow American.
Yellow American.
Yeah.
Some lettuce and tomato. Do you think it's a mayo situation?
I'm not sure.
I'll tell you how it is. You want me to try it?
Very good bread. Let me see. Peter's digging right in, Michael. You could have had a nice sandwich, too, if you were in. She gave me a nice roast beef. And with, it's my mother. Do I have to remind you? And it's with the nice rice pudding with the cinnamon on it.
Oh, I love rice pudding.
Why was she in such a giving mood today?
Well, because she was just happy to see me. I haven't seen her in a couple of weeks. I had a doctor's appointment today, and it was close to the house, so I swung by and spent some time.
Thank you, Jay.
She's a big Peter fan.
Well, much more so than Michael.
No, she loves Michael, too.
Well, I don't give you any days off, though. That bothers her.
Do you see what's in my hand here? Do you see this hog that's in my hand here, Michael?
See, so it technically wasn't a clean bet.
No.
Clean
free
ENN, but you had said that earlier. So was it good? It was a good bite? Worth it?
Delightful turkey sandwich. Well, it's just a standard issue. Now, she got you roast beef?
Yes.
With butter?
Why do you think she assumed I was a turkey man? Which, by the way, she was right. I'd be more.
I think it was just a guess because I could have taken the turkey and left the roast beef. Like she just went with a little variety.
Let's say that I was in today. Would she have known to order a plain sandwich for me?
Oh, that I don't know.
See, probably not, right?
Would she have gotten him a chicken parm sandwich?
Ah, Angelina's makes great chicken parm.
Is that true? Do you see what's in my hand here? Do you see this hog that's in my hand here, Michael? That thing is a monstrous, though. I mean, that's...
I'll enjoy it.
Speaking of food, thank you, Jay. That was delightful and very sweet of you. Speaking of food, you guys see the big news from Sauce Gardner?
No.
On social media?
No.
He tweeted last night, I have a confession to make, and it breaks my heart. New York-style pizza might be better than Detroit-style pizza.
Still not willing to give it up, right? Still said might. Still left a little room.
I don't know, man. Good Detroit pizza is pretty slamming,
Good pizza
though.
is good pizza.
But they're very different. Detroit pizza is very different than New York pizza.
No,
but
I get it.
But it is strong.
You know who I've become insanely jealous of in the last couple of weeks? Insanely
I have so many
jealous.
people. Okay, hold on. Give me a second here.
It revolves around pizza.
Dave Portnoy.
Oh, so much so. That is the gig for me, and he came up with it first. It's so brilliant in its simplicity. It's just unbelievable. And I want to do that so badly, but I can't rip off his act. I mean, it's genius. Genius. You know how he does it, Don? He goes in, gets a pie, brings it out in the box, and
Mm-hmm.
eats one slice, and then gives it a rating. So simple. But it's like all of my social media now knows that I enjoy. Everyone he's ever done keeps popping up.
I'll tell you what, I never did really anything to engage with Dave Portnoy stuff, and it's still all over my social media. The algorithm and Dave Portnoy are very good friends. I get the pizza stuff. I get his dog.
I don't get the dog. I only get the pizza.
You get the dog, Anthony?
Oh, Miss Peaches?
Miss
No,
Peaches,
I've never
yes.
seen Miss Peaches.
Oh, he talks in this little girly voice and gets down, and it's very sweet. Rolls around with the dog. It's like this very look at my endearing side, Dave Portnoy. He's obsessed with Miss Peaches. Very sweet dog.
Can I
money for animal rescues?
Do you think that I could make it work with chicken parm?
No.
No.
Yeah. It's got to be something that's universally eaten.
But by the way, also, listen, I've had my differences with Dave Portnoy at different points in life.
Yes.
But what I'm not is a hater. I'm not a liar. He figured something out about content creation that is unbelievable. The pizza thing, it's not, I don't know, is it the idea? Is
I
it
don't
his
know.
execution?
His execution, sometimes it's annoying, but you can't look away.
It's like it's a perfect storm. He is an absolute kingmaker when it comes to podcasts. I mean, it's unbelievable. Think about it. Call Her Daddy started out as a barstool vehicle. Pat McAfee started out as a barstool vehicle. Pardon My Take is still a barstool vehicle. He tapped into something content-wise that is undeniably impressive. It's crazy. And the pizza thing is the same thing.
So jealous.
But, Michael, I wouldn't want you to do it.
Why?
Because I have zero respect for your taste in food.
No, but I know pizza. I'm sorry. I know good pizza.
Do you? But why do you?
Because,
you don't eat enough in general. Why?
Because all he does is eat cheese pizza. That's what I eat. He doesn't.
Now that's a good point. It is a plain slice of cheese.
A plain slice of pizza. So what I like and what I don't like.
And he grades incredibly hard.
Yes, he does. His grades are incredibly hard.
Yeah, what's his number one score all time for a slice of pizza? Or at least New
I know.
York
I
pizza.
was watching one today. He loved it. He said it was so great. It was a place in Brooklyn. He gave him an 8-1.
Yeah, that would be extremely high for him. Listen, there are a couple of formats that have just gotten it.
Tom recalls a 9.5 from Portnoy.
What was it? Where was it?
I think it was Delucia's in Raritan, I want to say.
Wow. Look at you, Tom. Look at you.
And now he's getting guest host. He had Henry Winkler on with him.
Yeah, that's the Fonz team with me. No, listen. If you had come up with that, Michael, or if you'd started eating hot wings during interviews, think about how different your life would
it'd be so much better.
Oh, he was in my neighborhood.
Who, Dave?
Yeah, Lenny and John's is right by me.
And how is it? Is it great? And what did he give it?
I like Lenny and John's. I haven't seen this one. Michael, you saw this one today?
Well, who knows?
Yeah, I think so. He gave it a really good one. He said it was excellent.
Lenny and John's is very good.
But let's see, go to the end and see what he gave it there, Anthony. Because you don't know. You don't know. The algorithm feeds people different things at different times. So Michael's new one that he got today could be 6 months old.
Yeah, you're right. Because it looked like with Henry Winkler, it was cold out.
7.3 he gave it. That's a solid review for him. It's not one of his top ones, but that's a solid review.
All right, guys, let's talk some sports, shall we?
Jealous.
I know. It's hard. Listen, I spent all day yesterday thinking about the fact that Alex Cooper got $125 million from Sirius.
No, I think the New Heights bothered you as much as the pizza bothers me.
No, it doesn't. I can't explain it. These are all people that I like. In both the case of New Heights and Alex Cooper, I get bothered when I think people are talentless. I don't think that the New Heights guys are talentless, and I don't think that Call Her Daddy is talentless either. I just sometimes am like, I wish I was able to put a finger on why something becomes the thing. Like, I think Call Her Daddy, the times I've heard it, sounds like a really nice little interview show. I didn't know it was going to she'd become the Barbara Walters of our time. Couldn't have called it.
That's the genius of it all.
All right, now let's move on to Daniel Jones and your New York Football Giants. Daniel, is this team better than last year?
Yeah, I do think it's a better team. I think we've improved in a number of areas. I think across the board, yeah, we're better. We've had a good training camp, and we're ready to go. I think, it's always important to stay healthy and make sure we're taking care of our bodies and doing everything we can to stay healthy. And, yeah, I feel good about where we are.
So without Saquon, they're better.
Well, they should have a better offensive line, at least in theory.
And they have a great wide receiver.
Free agents.
Well, and
they've added a great wide receiver.
If Neighbors is what people believe he could be, that's a bigger deal than a great running back. All due respect to Saquon.
And they've taken a step, obviously, back from Barkley, but Singletary's good, and they got him a little cheaper, which afforded them to hopefully be able to fix this offensive line. And if you got Thomas healthy all year long, you got to see it to believe it, but. If that offensive line can protect, Singletary should be able to get some yards, and you've got a legitimate weapon to throw the football to. A nice crop of wide receivers overall. Not great. We'll see how it pans out, but it's all about trying to protect the quarterback.
Let's ask Daniel Jones, could you possibly throw more than 15 TDs if healthy? It feels like almost a disrespectful question.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a big stats guy or numbers guy, but I know what it means. We're trying to score a lot of touchdowns. We're trying to throw them. We're trying to run them. We're trying to score a lot of points.
Listen, I'm not a stat guy either, but throwing more than 15 touchdowns is called having a productive offense that scored any points. There's just, I'm sorry, that's how it
called
works.
Being barely average.
Can you be an above average quarterback?
I think what helped them 2 years ago is that he also ran for 7. So he was responsible for 21, and we were able to get from Barkley, but they were ridden by the fact that they were able to find ways to win games late. We talked about it a ton of times. There was a bunch of games. They could have very easily won just 6-7 games that year, but going for 2 against Tennessee, and there were just certain games that they caught, some breaks and got the 9 wins, and they won a playoff game. But it's going to have to be better. And it should be better. They got better weapons. They didn't have anything 2 years ago outside of Barkley.
Joe Shane, how much has this team improved?
I feel like we've improved in several areas, but again, you can improve. The team still has to come together as a team, and every team's different. And I know Dave's has talked about it, and I talk about it. You still got to come together. I like the chemistry of the team where we are now. I think that's important. And some of the best teams aren't always the most talented team, but they come together. They work hard. They know their assignments. They execute. Again, we don't know how this team's going to react when we're down 10, or how are they going to react when we're up 10, and when adversity strikes. What's that going to look like? So again, talent-wise, again, we like the group we have. We're excited about them, and we'll see how they gel and how they execute once we get out there on Sunday.
Why does Shane talk and Douglas doesn't?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, because when we have Douglas on,
very chatty.
He's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a case of him not wanting to do it or not think he can do it. He certainly can do it. I guess he just doesn't want to. I'm not sure. But he's right. You can go out and get a bunch of offensive linemen that have all done well other places. Will they gel? Will there be chemistry? To me, the best offensive lines are the ones that stay healthy, and there is a consistency to those 5 guys being out there every single Sunday. More so than, they're former Pro Bowlers or all the things that they accomplished before they signed as a free agent. And I appreciate his honesty. We'll see if this all does gel. And it may take a little bit.
CeeDee Lamb has a new deal, guys.
Sure does.
It took time, but all said and done, he got it. And here's CeeDee on getting a new deal from the Cowboys.
This whole process was very crazy for me, as we all know. I enjoyed it all. Obviously had plenty of times to revamp myself physically, become more prepared for the season. Granted, I wish I would have had a camp, but it's okay though. It'll work out in the back end. Very excited for the moment.
A lot was said there. Great. Was able to work on things. Wish he had a camp, though. So which is it?
Well, it's on Jerry Jones is what it is, Don.
I think some of these players, and Jet fans are hoping this is the case with Reddick, is that they just don't want to have to go through training camp. They'd rather work out on their own, not have to bother with all the stuff, and then just come in and play.
They hate camp.
Maybe some players can
They hate camp, most of them.
No, they do. But I guess some players value it more than others. There may be some that feel like, I want to get to know my teammates. I want to get to know the playbook. I want to be able to bond with these guys. And maybe some just feel like, listen, I've been here. Like, Lamb's been here. He knows the players. Probably didn't want to have to go through camp. Signed in time for him to be able to work out over the next 10 days before the first game of the season. I bet you that had a lot to do with how this went down. He probably just didn't want to have to go through camp.
And by the way, I do feel a little bit different about CeeDee Lamb in camp than, say, Hassan Reddick in camp, for example. He's at this point been there.
Yeah.
He's a veteran now. The quarterback hasn't changed. Really, nothing's changed. I mean, CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott are going to be just fine for week 1. You'd like to have him, but it's not the same as someone who does not know playing with the team.
Now, is it possible that Reddick looks at it and goes, I was a Cardinal and a Panther and an Eagle, and now I'm
Charger
a Jet.
now.
I've gone to a bunch of different teams. I was able to bond with those guys right away, have big years. Maybe he just doesn't feel like he needs to bond with these guys. I don't know what goes. The Reddick thing really just bothers me because I really don't see his end game. But if he thinks he doesn't need a camp and he signs in the next few days and is eligible to play against San Francisco and he balls out, then I guess maybe that was it.
Speaking of wide receivers,
sure,
Jamar Chase is still day-to-day. Did not participate in practice today, and Zach Taylor indicated that the status still is day-to-day for Jamar Chase. Obviously a big deal for the start of the Bengals season.
Sure.
Mike Tomlin has made Russell Wilson the starting quarterback in Pittsburgh. And here's Coach Tomlin on the decision.
It was a difficult decision, but not difficult in a negative way, to be quite honest with you. It was difficult in a positive way. The decision was difficult because of what they're capable of doing. The decision was difficult because of how they've conducted themselves, as opposed to the things that they fall short in terms of capabilities or negative conduct.
Can I tell you one thing? It was not a competition.
No.
Russell Wilson had that job right from the get-go, once they got him.
Yeah, they were being nice because you got Justin Fields.
Right, but that's a future. Today is Russell Wilson.
Well, and also that obviously says, assuming they still believe in Fields, like, hey, yeah, we know what you were doing out there. We saw your ability, but we're kind of starting you from scratch here.
And also, Peter, you can go from Wilson to Fields. It would be very difficult to give Fields a job and then say to Wilson, who's 34, 35 years old, okay, now you go in. So I think it's easier to make the switch the other way. Wilson was always having this job.
Unless he just fell flat on his face in camp.
But he didn't.
Which I guess he didn't. Right, so. But I'm with you. I think he had the inside track, and he took advantage of it.
Here's Louis Riddick on SportsCenter on the same subject.
If you really do feel that Russell is the guy that can help you score points and put your team on the right trajectory, then you put him in there. This, to me, seems like it was much less of a competition than it was in New England. Mike Tomlin's kind of had it already in his mind that Russ was going to be the guy, and it would have taken a Herculean effort on the part of Justin Fields in order to move him off of that.
Am I right? I didn't even know that was going to be said.
Look at you.
I mean, look at me. Look at us. Look at us on 880. Look at us.
Right. Jobs, chimps.
No,
Really?
exactly.
Let's go. Let's be honest.
Look at us on 880 AM or 101 0.1 HD2,
Look at
which I
us.
hear sounds tremendous.
Or on
The
the
ESPN
app.
New York app.
Yeah.
Or the S Network.
Look at us.
If I'm a Jet fan, I'm paying close attention to the Steelers. Because if the Jets do not win this division and the Steelers are good, and you know Cincinnati's going to be good if Burrow's healthy, and then the Ravens, I think, are going to be very good, well, then that means one of those teams is going to win the division, and that could be two potential wild card teams that you might be competing with.
Two? What about Cleveland?
Well, yeah, all right, they throw Cleveland in.
No, Don, it's the whole division. It's a problem.
Yeah, the whole division's a problem. And then you have, obviously, Miami and Buffalo to contend with to try to win the division. Now, I think the Jets, if Rodgers is healthy, I think the Jets are winning this division. But if they don't win the division, then, boy, the wild card is going to be crazy. Like you said, all those teams in the North are involved. How much better will Denver be? I don't know if they're going to compete for a wild card. Will L.A. finally, with a coach, come together? South now isn't a joke. Indianapolis isn't bad. I think Houston's probably going to win that division. It's going to be, it's going to be crazy, man.
High of 91 in Berlin today, Don, in case you're wondering.
We weren't.
I wasn't, but you'll be off.
High of 80 on Friday. I'll be there for that. 65, 80. And then Saturday, where I have Bash at Berlin, low 61, high 76.
Where is Bash at Berlin being held?
It's in Berlin.
No, I get that. What's the venue?
Uber Arena.
Oh, Uber Arena.
So you can actually call for an arena and they pull up to your house.
Funny. How about this? Paul Feinbaum on First Take reacted to Deion Sanders' criticism where he called Paul Feinbaum the last of a dying breed.
It didn't mean very much to me because it was a fairly irrelevant reaction. He did say something that I agree with. He called me a dying breed in the profession, which I'm proud of because I really do believe that the media should be treated with respect and not have selective persecution like he is using out there, not only with this reporter from Denver, but other reporters as well.
What I don't understand about Deion, I've had the opportunity to cover him when he was with the Yankees.
Prime time.
He's really great on his feet. He can answer any question. What does he care if people are writing negatively about him? What does he care? Take the question. Avoid it. Give the answer that you want. Instead, you're looking like you're turning the Colorado program into a dictatorship that there's going to be no media coverage of it.
It's a very heelish move, too.
But he had every right, especially as a football player, to have confidence in his abilities. To me, this comes across as he lacks confidence in his coaching ability. He doesn't know if he's going to be a great coach or not. He's a great player. He's a really good baseball player, but now he's not. How does he know?
I just don't think he likes criticism, Don.
No, but you care about the criticism when you're not sure you're doing it well. Like, as a player, criticize him. He knew he was the best, one of the best corners in football.
I get it. I know the reporter, wrote columns that were really, really harsh against Deion specifically. But, call me a part of the dying breed, too, I guess, Deion. It doesn't look great. And by the way, talk about bringing in noise, extra noise, and getting other people in the media to root against you. Probably not what you want. That'll do it for ENN, brought to you by Security Dodge. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their Make This the Summer event.
I mean, look at us. Look at what we've accomplished on 3 days on 880. We've reinvented the wheel is what we've done.
I ate a turkey sandwich during this, ENN. Yep. We talked to CeCe Sabathia
That's
today.
right.
You can hear it on the podcast.
Yeah, Mike Lupica on Wednesday.
Oh, he's so good.
And we talk to each other and you, the audience.
And in the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See ya.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Don't forget the Yankees and Nationals rubber match is over on Prime Video, beginning with the pregame show right now. For all of us here on the Michael Kay Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem